to your doorstep.
Koikimedia, Koikimedia, Koikimedia. We bringing the world closer to your doorstep.
Àwọn sálára àgbà yìí dá, àwa ló láṣà àti èdè. Gbígbédè lárugẹ nílẹ̀ Oòduà o, àwa gangan ni bàbá.
Koikimedia, Koikimedia, Koikimedia. We bringing the world closer to your doorstep.
They never sabi wetin we carry for her.
But they move closer before they go sabi.
I said they never know wetin we carry for body.
But they move closer before they go sabi.
Ọ̀kìn lọ lọ́jà ẹyẹ ìhun ló ló lajú.
Ẹyẹ tó torí kodò ní àná ọgbẹ́jẹ lẹ́nu.
Ká ṣiṣẹ́ fún ilẹ̀ bàbá wa, ká ṣiṣẹ́ fún ìlú bàbá wa, ká jùmọ̀ sowọ́pọ̀ ká lè tó dúdú àga.
Òdúdú àkóbá lè gbé wá.
Ọmọ Odùduwà ṣe kiri. Ẹ dìde fún ẹ̀tọ́ adúláwọ̀, ká lè jọ jùmọ̀ gbé délẹ̀ ìlérí. Káwa lè gba ògo ilẹ̀ wa, ká ṣiṣẹ́ ká lè jọ gbàdé, ká lè gbàdé adé adúláwọ̀. Àwa ni ìmọ̀lẹ̀ tí yóò tàn káàkiri.
Ìyàmọ́ Odùduwà ni wá.
Koikimedia, àwa là ń gbé tó lárugẹ.
Ètò tó gbójú owó tí wọ́n mọ̀ ní.
Kásá ẹgbẹ́ polówó ọjà wà kájé bùgbà yín jẹ.
Ètò tó gbójú owó tí wọ́n mọ̀ ní.
À ń gbé tó lárugẹ, à ń gbàsà lárugẹ.
Ètò tó gbójú owó tí wọ́n mọ̀ ní.
News and sports ẹ máa rí gbọ́.
Ètò tó gbójú owó tí wọ́n mọ̀ ní.
Ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú alárẹ̀ mi ló ní kí n máa ké tantan. Koikimedia ọ̀rọ̀ lágbájúmọ̀ mi o, máa bá ṣẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ. Ọmọ Yorùbá nìyẹn, ọmọ Yorùbá tata o. À ń gbádùn rẹ̀ Ìjẹ̀bú alárẹ̀ mi, ṣẹ́yìn ló máa fi dìbò tẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀. Ẹ̀yin lọ́mọ onígbò máa ń dé máa dé. Ẹ̀yin lọ́mọ onígbò máa wọ̀. Igbó máa wọ̀ dájòjì ò gbọ́dọ̀ wọ̀. Àjòjì tó bá wọ̀ bẹ̀ á tẹ̀lé ní bọ́ra. Ẹ̀yin lọ máa náwó kóyìnbó tó dé. Ìgbà tó yìnbó dé o, owó náà dẹ́ tún pọ̀ sí o. Koikimedia sáwa ní bàbá. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
Dáńtọ́ àtúnpèrè gidi.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
Àwa là ń gbé tó lárugẹ jẹ́ ká jọgbọ́ o.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
Àtúnjàfẹ́tọ̀ ilẹ̀ wa, fẹ́tọ̀ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
Ọmọ Oòduà ni wá o, tọkàntọkàn.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
Ikú tí ó ṣe bí lébi òsì, àdìmú bàbá yọ.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
We bring you one closer to your doorstep.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
Afẹ́fẹ́ tó ń fẹ́ o tó ń kàngi oko lára ni.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
Àpèrè gèdè Olódùmarè ló fún wa ṣe.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
Gbogbo ayé ẹ gbọ́, àwa ní bàbá o.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
Ẹ máa bọ̀ wá ẹgbẹ́ polówó ọjà yín wá o.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
Odùduwà la gbé dání, òtítọ́ la gbé dání.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
A kì í sọ̀dálẹ̀, a kì í sọ̀dí kẹta.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
Àdúró tán, a tún péré gédé.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
Koikimedia we bring you one closer to your doorstep.
Àwọn ní bàbá.
Koikimedia is around
to give us latest.
Is around
To give us latest.
Ladies and gentlemen,
ẹ mú kalẹ̀ sílẹ̀, ẹ tẹ́tí ẹ gbọ́ ètò tó bójú gbogbo.
ladies and gentlemen,
ẹ mú kalẹ̀ sílẹ̀, ẹ tẹ́tí ẹ gbọ́ ètò tó bójú gbogbo.
Koikimedia is around
To give us latest.
Koikimedia.
Wow, it's Monday, ọjọ́ Ajé, kọ́lọ́njẹ́ arájé jẹun. I hope ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà Nàìjíríà, kọ́lọ́njẹ́ kẹ́rájé jẹun. Mo kí àwa Beauty Àmọ̀pé. Triple DRS all the way in Woolwich, and I know it's a lunch time for many of us that are already at work. Iṣẹ́ kan náà làwa náà fi bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní bíbáyìí, and for every hour tí a bá jókòó sí bíbáyìí, it's almost equivalent to you as well tí o bá lọ síbi iṣẹ́. So when we are here, we are also at work. Iṣẹ́ tó lúkálukú wá gbọ́ ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ ni. Àwọn tó wà lọ́sípítù tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ nísìn, iṣẹ́ náà ló ń ṣe. Àwa táwa náà wà ní bíbá, iṣẹ́ náà la fi ṣe. Ẹ̀yin tí ẹ máa gbọ́ wa náà, iṣẹ́ náà lẹ́yìn náà ṣe torí pé to catch up with my program sometimes, you know, if it's back to back. Mọ́mí wa kan pè mí láti Newcastle. Many Nigerians that are coming to study are struggling to pay their school fees. And I needed £3,000 to renew their papers. I've told you, it's good to come and study in UK, but always remember it's a business center. If you don't have the fund, you will be trapped when you get to UK. So think about that before you set out to come here. So, only 4 hours program tá ṣe nípa Ọ̀ṣun Òṣogbo tí wọ́n ti tà dànù. Pé many things keeps coming out of this beautiful platform that many of us don't know. Just like many of us are learning so many reasons why things are stuck in Yoruba land today. Nínú program yẹn láti gbọ́ pé our deities stop being fed into jẹkọ jẹ gangan. Wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí fún wọn ní ìwòjẹ. This is as far back as 1950. 10 years tí Britain máa dá government padà as an independent country. So was it a deliberate act that Britain mọ̀ pé níjọ́ kan máa dé táwọn ìran ọmọ Yorùbá yìí máa dìde against all the atrocities and the crime against us? Wọ́n wá decide pé kàkà kí ṣèrè má jẹ́ kinní kan, ẹ parí òwe yẹn, ẹ̀yin dẹ̀ mọ̀ òwe. So what they've done is not new. It was a deliberate act. So ọ̀nà kan tó kù tí gbogbo wa lè fi yọra wa òun ni pé ká kúrò ní Nàìjíríà. I was thinking that ìyẹn nìkan ni problem. Mo wá sọ fún yín again lẹ́ni Tinubu ti tà wá. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu ó ti ta gbogbo wa. Ó ti gba change gan lé wa lórí. I am saying it categorically that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu ó ti ta ìran Yorùbá. Inú program tọ̀sán lẹ máa ti gbọ́. How? Ọ̀nà wo ló gbà tà wá? Kí ló tún mú jáde Koikimedia? Ẹ máa jókòó ká lè jọ gbádùn ètò náà. Ọ̀nà tó fi tà wá, òun ni local government autonomy tí wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí. The local government autonomy ó máa fún ọmọ Igbo ní access sí gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ọmọ Haúsá náà máa ní access, ọmọ Fúlàní máa ní access, nítorí pé wọ́n máa dá local government padà sí ọwọ́ àwọn local government. Ǹjẹ́ à ń ronú síbi tí Sábó wà àti ibi táwọn ọmọ Igbo wà tó jẹ́ pé they will be able to control that local government tí wàá gbéyàn kan dìde wàá dẹ̀ dìbò fún, and the election will be coming from the state, but the federal ló máa control the narrative of INEC. Kò ní sí lọ́wọ́ state mọ́. No perfect right now, but we are going to be more entrapped as things are going right now. Ǹjẹ́ o gbọ́ pé more local government ó wà ní Sokoto than Lagos State. 20 local government ní Lagos State. Wọ́n fún wa ní 57 LCDA. Nínú local government 20 yẹn ló ti fi sponsor LCDA. But ní North, wọ́n yọ state. Jókòó kó farabalẹ̀ kó wọ́ mi tútù mú kí ẹ má bí mú kí wọ́n ẹ̀ ti darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. Ọmọlódù ọdẹ kí ló sọ bí mò ń gbọ́.
The cost of fuel has gone up.
Okay.
Food and other prices have followed it.
Okay.
Households and businesses struggling.
Okay.
Things seem anxious and uncertain.
Okay.
I understand the hardship you face.
Okay.
I wish there were other ways, but there's not.
All right. Only I wish there was other way, but other way tí Tinubu tó fẹ́ gbé lẹ̀ sí nísìn ni pé kọ́ fún agbára fún ẹ má wá sọ pé but local government ní láti ní agbára. That power is not going to be for you. It is for the other ethnic indigenous people. Àbí tẹ́ bá pè wọ́n ní tribes, even though we are not tribes. Àmúrawárí. They will control the local government. Ṣé rántí pé wọ́n bí ti Tinubu gan ní Lagos State? Ẹ ti gbàgbé. So now the power tí wọ́n fẹ́ dá padà yẹn, it is not for our own interest though. It is not for anybody's interest. These are more reasons tí a gbọ́dọ̀ máa pariwo fún Tinubu pé Nigeria, we are tired of being part of this messed up country. Tó bá mọ Yorùbá anthem, you can read or recite it as it's coming through. Ṣẹ́gun ni bàbá mi Adékúnlé òwe tí bá pa tí kò bá kanlẹ̀ dáadáa ẹ bá mi sí sínú comment section. Wọ́n ní kàkà kékú má jẹ sèse àfi ṣàwàdànù ni. Mo kí Professor Adebanji ọmọ Akintoye, the Grand Commander of the Yoruba, the Grand Commander of the Order of Yoruba Nation. Bàbá tiwa ká gbà fún tèmi ṣiṣẹ́ fún tí gbogbo wa ń ṣiṣẹ́ fún àmọ́ àwọn kan náà wọ́n ṣiṣẹ́ fún bàbá Akintoye ìyẹn ni wọ́n ṣe ń tẹ́ ní gbogbo ìgbà. We are working for bàbá Akintoye. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń ṣiṣẹ́ fún Tinubu ẹ máa padà tẹ́ ń bọ̀ náà ni. Ẹ máa tẹ́ gbogbo yín pátá because ojú máa tì yín nítorí pé calm down ní Tinubu wà báyìí. Kódà wọ́n ti ń ra lẹ́pọ̀n. Dangote ní òun ò ṣe steel mọ́. Àwọn àṣírí sì máa tú torí pé Dangote ní òun kówó fún Tinubu àtàǹbọ̀dé àti sanwó kú $100 million lórí òun san fún Tinubu. Ẹ má bà business jẹ́ mọ́ òun lọ́wọ́. Kódà ó ní òun ti ń regret. Mo ní olè ní Dangote nísìn lòun regret nígbà tí wọ́n ń ra àwọn náà lẹ́pọ̀n nígbà tó ń kó ṣúgà wọlé tó ń kó gbogbo ẹ̀ wọlé tó di monopoly tí gbogbo yín wá lọ ń gba ọjà Dangote àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ à ń bọ̀ lọ́dọ̀ ẹ̀. Mo wá kí ọmọdé yẹ Ìgbòho Òòṣà. Bàbá ti pè mí láàárọ̀ àti sọ̀rọ̀ as usual because I feed him at so many things as every morning. Iṣẹ́ tèmi gbà pẹ̀lú bàbá Akintoye àtolóyè Ìgbòho nìyẹn. Àtijọ́ sọ̀rọ̀ is not for public consumption. Àbófin mọ́tájọ́ sọ ni. ṣé Joe Biden gan wọ́n nígbà tó máa announce pé òun ò ní ṣe mọ́. Kamala Harris wọ́n ní last minute ló gbọ́. Some of you ẹ kò fi máa mọ tó ń lọ ní background ó yá wá sọ fún wa ìyẹn lẹ ṣe ń wá àwọn àṣírí káàkiri lórí social media àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ ń ṣàṣírí ní ààrẹ ṣe fracas. Yorùbá nation ní bàbá Akintoye gbé lé mi lọ́wọ́ week 9 látún máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní èní week 9 ẹ farabalẹ̀ kẹ́ wo topic yẹn because a fẹ́ distraction a dẹ̀ fẹ́ kíyàn kankan pull wa down because there is a lot happening in Nigeria that we need to educate you. Mo dẹ̀ dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo èèyàn ọmọ Yorùbá. Ẹ jẹ́ ń lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ kí n kọ́kọ́ máa kí àwọn èèyàn bó ṣe ń wọlé torí pé tá bá ti gbẹ́nu sórí ètò ní tún máa jáde máa wọlé máa kí yín. It will be mixed Yorùbá English. Tó o bá gbọ́ Yorùbá I cannot help you. Èdè mi ni èdè abínibí mi èdè tí mo lọ kọ́ àmọ́ wọ́n jẹ́ ká kọ́ dáadáa bí àwọn bàbá wọn mọ́ borí owó àwọn lè sọ numbers wọ́n lè sọ days àmọ́ àwa kan à lè sọ kò ń ṣẹjọ́ wa má bínú sí rẹ pé ò gbọ́ Yorùbá dáadáa. That is part of the problem that was created. Ká lọ máa sọ òyìnbó. Bí mo bá kí gbogbo èèyàn máa kí bàbá wa ọmọ Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho Òòṣà. Torí pé mo ní táktọ̀ bá sí nínú múvì mọ́ gbogbo tá à ń ṣe yìí a máa sá ni. Tàbátẹ̀ máa padà wá á tún jẹ́ pé a gbọ́dọ̀ rí actor míì but right now Gani Adams ò ní dìde fúnran Yorùbá kò ń ṣe pé mo hate wọn. Mo ti mọ Ìbà Gani Adams kí n tó mọ Olóyè Ìgbòho mo máa ń sọ ẹni pé mo parọ́ mọ́ wọn kọ́lọ̀ fọ́nrún Kẹ́dàpọ̀ Williams. Ìbà Gani Adams mo tẹ̀lé wọn dé Àkókó in tó máa kọ́kọ́ gbé mi dé Ondo State nìyẹn nígbà tó fẹ́ lọ fi oyè jẹ fún bàbá wa kọ́lọ̀ fọ́nrún kẹ́ wọn Dàpọ̀ Williams. Dàpọ̀ Williams ò ní ṣe nǹkan nílùú yìí àbí kọ́ ṣe nǹkan nílùú yìí kọ́ máa pe Dàpọ̀ Williams òun ni number 1 Don APC. Bí Buhari bá ń bọ̀ èmi ti wà wẹ́ẹ̀ ó máa ní kí n gbé pamọ́ ni. Àmọ́ Tinubu ní èmi ló kàn ibi tí Buhari ṣiṣẹ́ dé lòun náà máa padà gbé. Mò ń bọ̀ mo ti dé mo kí àwa Comfort Ológunjà wọn náà wọn kí gbogbo lé Adams Ọlámilékan ní my humble lecture. Níbí báyìí láti ń kọ́ra wa lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ láti lè mọ̀ pé àbá Tinubu jà àmọ́ má tà wá fún North. Má lo local government kó fi lọ tà wá fún North because already tá bá wo 774 local government Yorùbá ní 191 ká dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Dr. Aliu ó ti ṣe àwọn analysis kan fún wa pull it out ó wà lórí website mi koikimedia.com. Mo kí bàbá wa Dára Paul Brooklyn mo kí ní gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá mo kí mùsùlùmí má rò pé mo ń ṣe mùsùlùmí ilé mùsùlùmí ló bí mi sí ẹ̀sìn kan ni mo torí ẹ̀jà. Mo kí gbogbo àwọn àfáà ńláńlá àtàwọn tó ti lọ àtàwọn tó sì ń bẹ mo kí chief mami ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ẹ kú iṣẹ́ takuntakun wọn ní fìdọ̀tí wọn ní fi yín lára. Mo kí gbogbo àwọn bàbá ńláńláńlá àwọn ṣéwù àwọn ẹni Ọlọ́run tí Ọlọ́run fi tara wọn tó fi ń gbàdúrà ti mùsùlùmí àti ti gbogbo aráyé. Torí pé bí kìrìsìtẹ́nì bá ní problem tó bá lọ sọ́dọ̀ mùsùlùmí ó jẹ́ kó ṣe àdúrà fún ẹ kádùrà yẹn gbà àmọ́ gbogbo ẹ ti dáwọ́rú ìyẹn la ṣe trust ara wa mọ́. Mo kí kìrìsìtẹ́nì mo wá kí àwọn oníṣẹ̀ṣe wọ́n wá gbé Ọ̀ṣun Òṣogbo wọ́n gbé lọ́mọ Ìgbò lọ́wọ́ ṣé torí pé Adélékè márì Ìgbò ló ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àbí báwo à ń bọ̀ níbẹ̀. Mo kí bàbá wa Rahim Abbas ẹgbẹ́ wọn lè share button tó ní ages mo kí ẹ. Mo lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ mo kí ìyá mi pé ó lọ Benin Republic ó dé láyọ̀ àtàláfíà ó tún wá bá wa tinú ilé níbí kò easy tó bá jẹ́ pé easy ni ìwọ náà ra ticket kó lọ sí Benin àwọn atajọ́ ń ṣe Yorùbá nation má jókòó sórí social media kó máa sọ pé mo kẹ́yìn tẹ́ wá Nàìjíríà ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ń ṣe in this very difficult time kákọ̀ kí káyìn yìí àmọ́ àwọn tó fẹ́ jáde fún protest they have every right to come out for protest but end bad governance òun kọ́ ni problem. Mo kí ọmọ Luka I saw the 8-minute message you put out again yesterday. A ti pariwo a ti sọ fúnra wa pé kò sẹ́ni tó ń bá Tinubu jà problem tó wà nílẹ̀ is far beyond Tinubu. Tinubu nísìn ó ti ń succumb sáwọn North wọ́n fẹ́ lo local government wọ́n fẹ́ fi gbá wa wọlé wọ́n fẹ́ fi local government so that àwọn ẹ̀yà tó kù eléyìí ṣe bá ń bá Haúsá jà àbá Ìgbò jà àmọ́ wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ wá dominate local government wa nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. Bí bá ń support Biafra kò mí pé káwọn Biafra wá dominate wa ní local government wa ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. kọ́ lọ dominate ara wọn ní south east bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ máa allow àwa náà àmọ́ ṣé àwọn northerners máa gbà bí wọ́n ṣe fẹ́ to ọ̀rọ̀ local government yìí ṣé wọ́n máa allow kí Yorùbá dominate wọn níbẹ̀ àní kò sí Yorùbá níbẹ̀ àní ọ̀nà tí Tinubu tún fẹ́ gbà yìí ó tún ju ti Buhari lọ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ rúgá. Mo wá kí gbogbo àwọn tí a jọ wà lórí ìkànnì ẹ jẹ́ kí n kó gbogbo wa papọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ kó lè tètè máa tẹ̀síwájú. Mo kí ẹ brother mi ní Miami Easy, mo lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ mo kí triple DRS, mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ̀ ń wọlé ní méjì mẹ́ta. Ọlákúnlé máa ṣiṣẹ́ lọ ní bá ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn gbogbo tó bá ń lọ tó bá fi ìpò jẹ́ kí n mọ̀ mo kí ọgbọ̀n tẹ́ ń bẹ níbẹ̀ ni. A ti ṣèpàdé lánàá èmi àtàwọn Koikimedia team, mo ní láti fún yín ní brief yẹn but they will be ready to cover the protest. That's all I can say. Yorùbá nation kọ́ ló ń jáde fún protest. Àwọn Nigerians náà àwọn fẹ́ jáde. The Nigerians say they are coming out for a massive protest and whatever the consequence they face, let them face it. Táwa bá máa jáde, àwa mọ consequence. But under the right, ní gbogbo àjọ wà. But ending one Nigeria is, bad governance is not the issue. Ending bad governance. Ẹ fẹ́ lọ gbé Peter Obi wọlé, ní ṣoríire. Ẹ má bínú ẹ̀yin ìyá mi tẹ́rí kí n máa ṣépè. Anybody tó bá ní kó end the bad governance so that Peter Obi can come, we will not allow that. If not, the whole country should dissolve itself. Peter Obi ò ní jẹ́ president Nigeria because it's part of them. Tinubu should also be the last president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria because he's already selling us out gradually. Ṣé rò pé kékeré ni Buhari ṣe, ìtí Tinubu fẹ́ ṣe ó ju ti Buhari lọ, ó fẹ́ fi local government ó fẹ́ fi gbá wa sí ẹ̀yìn tí gbogbo àwọn tó wà ní sábó wá lọ yànyàn kan wá fi ṣe emir. Kódà ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń sọ pé ẹ máa jẹ local government chairman, ẹ realize pé Igbo ló máa jẹ local government chairman ní majority place of Yoruba land. The narrative. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí ẹgbẹ́ ọlẹ́ share button. Mo kí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń wọlé lórí Instagram. Tó o bá mọ ẹni tó ń pè ní Koikimedia, òun ló dúró yìí. Agbẹnusọ kan tó Ìgbòho ní tó dúró dáadáa, tó dúró tán fún Ìgbòho àti ọmọ Yorùbá àti bàbá Akintoye. Èmi ló ń pè bẹ́ẹ̀. Máa ní kí n wálé, àwọn èèyàn tẹ̀ ní máa wálé Koiki. Ìwọ ẹ̀gbọ́n kan pè mí láti ìlú kan lánàá. Ó ní tí àsìkò bá tó, ó ní òun lọ́lé. Ó sọ àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ tó pọ̀. Kò ń ṣe fún social media. Mo wá ní èmi náà ń bọ̀ nílé wọn ní Koiki, àní mo ní kó má wálé fi sílẹ̀ fáwọn ẹ̀gbọ́n ẹ̀. Ìwọ ti pariwo dáadáa ò lè jà àmọ́ ní àbúrò tó gbọ́ síta ohun tí wọ́n ti gbé síta yẹn ó ti tó tí wọ́n bá lọ wàá rí ẹ mú in terms of pé ojú gbogbo ẹ̀ bò kò sẹ́ni tó mátẹ́gùn. Wọ́n ní kí n fi sílẹ̀ káwọn lọ, kò sẹ́ni kankan tó lè dẹ́rù bà wá nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. Mo sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ tásìkò bá tó wàláhì tàláhì súnmọ́ bíláhì làzílà hùwà awálá nílẹ̀ ṣèbí Joe Biden ló ti lọ nísìn. Mo sọ fún yín pé Amẹ́ríkà ò lè ṣe nothing. Mo sọ fún yín Joe Biden ni Ọlọ́run kó sẹ́mi ẹ̀ pé máa lọ ẹ ti lọ gbé lómi wá. America cannot stop what is about to play out in Nigeria. Àdẹ̀ni jẹ́ kó lo Nigeria as a battleground for Africa and the Europe and the West. Nítorí pé tó bá ń bára wọn jà, kó jà láàrin ìlú wọn, kó jà láàrin UK àti Russia, kó jà láàrin America. We do not want the battleground in Africa. Èyí tẹ́ jà tẹ́ lo àwọn bàbá ńlá wa fi lọ jà World War I, World War II. We will not allow a World War III in Africa, not in Yoruba land. Gbogbo tó bá gbà la máa ṣe, ètùtù ni a máa ṣe, àdúrà ni a máa ṣe. Nobody around the world will use Africa again for their own piniki or whatever they think they will do. Ẹ ti lo Africa too long. Ẹ ti sọ wá di tí kò jẹ́ ká dì lénìí, and we will stop that. Ìran Yorùbá dẹ̀ ló lè stop ẹ̀, ló lè challenge wọn. Bí ṣe ń bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀, wọ́n ń gbọ́. Wọ́n mọ bí tí mo sọ̀rọ̀ lọ. Spiritual fight là ń dà. Àwọn ọ̀dẹ̀ ní kú sí, àwọn ló máa kú sí. Ẹgbẹ́ni tó bá gbé ọwọ́ lé wa lórí, ẹ máa bá lọ ní, ọba ní, ìjòyè ní, politician ní, anywhere around the world. Nítorí pé the Yoruba people must be free from the bondage. Mo ní Tinubu ti tà yín, ọmọ born bastard. Born bastard ni, ó ti ta gbogbo wa. But tásìkò bá tó lórí ilẹ̀ yẹn, mo ní kọ́nsọ́rí social media láti máa declare Yoruba nation. Ilẹ̀ wa láti máa wá make a declaration yẹn tásìkò bá tó. But for now, let's give more reason why Yoruba people must be prepared and ready for whatever will happen, because Yoruba people will be free from the bondage and the shackles of the globalists, àwọn olórí burúkú, the IMF, the World Bank, and even the United Nations. Àwọn born bastard. ẹ fẹ́ jẹ́ káwa máa jìyà kẹ́yìn máa gbádùn kò ní dá fún gbogbo yín. Enough is enough. Àṣemọ́ pẹ̀lú yín. A máa rewrite history tí ẹ ti bá wa tẹ́tí tọwọ́ bọ̀ a fẹ́ dá padà síbi tó ń bọ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́kọ́ lọ sọ́dọ̀ iṣẹ́ tí bàbá Akintoye gbélé wa lọ́wọ́ àti wà ní week 9 tó bá ti gbọ́ tẹ́lẹ̀ lọ gbọ́ ìta tí ń ṣe bọ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ week 9 la wà nísìnyí. Ẹ̀yin yá dáadáa ẹ jókòó kẹ́ gbọ́ mi sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ kò ní sápa yín lórí. Èmi náà ti jẹ meat pie tíyàwó mi ṣe lánàá ó dùn ṣìn. Ìjọ́ ló ti ṣe meat pie nínú ilé ẹ. Meat pie níyàwó mi ṣe mo fi mu tíì láàárọ̀ ẹ̀ mo dẹ̀ ti mu cornflakes ó ti pẹ́ tí mo ti mu cornflakes milk wá ń dá mi lọ́rùn kí wá ni mo fẹ́ máa ṣẹ́ẹ̀tì ara mi fún torí pé mílíkì á máa ṣiṣẹ́ lára gbogbo àwọn màálù òfò tẹ́ ń jẹ àwọn màálù tó ní kankan tó máa ṣe fún yín àwọn màálù tí wọ́n ń sà sí tí gbogbo wa jọ ń jẹ ní Nàìjíríà yẹn ẹ túbọ̀ máa jẹ continue to eat it. So eléyìí òun ni manifesto tiwa tí bàbá Akintoye gbélé wa lọ́wọ́ tó ní kí gbogbo àwa mídíà iṣẹ́ tó gbélé wa lọ́wọ́ lélẹ́yìí iṣẹ́ tí bàbá Akintoye gbélé gbogbo mídíà lọ́wọ́ lélẹ̀ pé ká máa lọ fi educate wa eléyìí tá ti ń ṣe yìí gbogbo wa ti learn so much torí pé at 89 bàbá yẹn ṣì ń kọ oríṣiríṣi jáde. So we're gonna start again this morning. Mo dẹ̀ máa ṣe recording ẹ̀ quickly ẹ jẹ́ ti window yẹn rà pé ṣàtẹ́gùn yẹn ó rà pé kó máa fẹ́ ó rà pé orúfẹ́ máa mú díẹ̀ so a máa ṣe recording ẹ̀ as we do and I'm gonna read that and then aṣa analysis yẹn díẹ̀ àwa wọnú kí ni ìjọba Tinubu ń tò lórí ọ̀rọ̀ local government. Mo kí bá ìyá mi lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí beauty àmọ̀ pé mo kí gbogbo ẹbẹ̀ ṣe ń wọlé intel ṣe fẹ́mi ni pé mo tí ní kẹ́ fún mi lówó bá máa gbowó. Ìyá mi kan wá ní wọ́n náà ìtẹ̀ wá Nàìjíríà pé ẹ̀ ń struggle láti send 10 naira owó tó ní ká dá yẹn wọ́n wá ní Koiki ò ṣe máa sọ fún wọn pé ẹni tó bá dá 120 ó ti cover the whole year so that instead of because even the 10 naira might not be convenient in Nigeria. That's what I'm being told. So even though pé wọ́n ní 10 naira ní ká máa san 50 naira mi dà. Ìyẹn mo ṣe ní kọ́ bá ń kọ́ àwọn owó kéékèèké wá láti ilé so that a lè máa easy tán sọ̀rọ̀ bó ní 50 naira wà. So what you can do for those of you ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ń lé ẹ̀yin náà fẹ́ meat pie ẹ̀gbọ́n mi tí fún DRS ẹ máa book ni o ìtọ́ṣe sínú ilé ni mo ń ṣé torí mo ti dárúkọ meat pie nísìn wàhálà méjì ni mo jẹ mo fi mu tíì mo ti sùn mo ti school run èèyàn máa ń balance iṣẹ́ ìlú yìí àti family tó bá fẹ́ ní peace nínú ilé ẹ̀ máa dé kó sọ pé kíyàwó ẹ̀ ní kó lọ drop ọmọ kó nó rẹ̀ ìjàlẹ̀ máa jàgbẹ̀yìn ẹ máa kóra ní sórí social media bí ọmọjọ́ mẹ́ta ni wàá máa balance wàá máa balance so bẹ́ẹ̀ mi ṣe ń bọ̀ báyìí mo kàn tún ṣe kí ni kàn mú bus pass yẹn fún ìyàwó pé òun ló ní èmi ò ní di bus pass iṣẹ́ tẹ gbé fún mi lélẹ̀ inú lélẹ̀ mi ń gbé ni mò ń sùn mò ń jí mò ń lọ bí iṣẹ́ o ilé tí mò ń ṣe kò ń ṣiṣẹ́ so ẹ̀yin tẹ wà nílé to make life easy for us lórí ọ̀rọ̀ 10 naira kan ní ká máa dá what you can do mo ń 100 naira mi ni o ìbò 100 naira yẹn wà intel ṣe ni pé ẹ kò san 150 ó cover the whole year ẹni tó bá wá ní sí ẹ lè san jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ but 10 naira lọ ní ká san the same thing with the diaspora but ẹ̀yin diaspora wọ́n ní ká lọ sí orí ysdm.org ẹ má wọrí gbogbo awuyewuye tó ń lọ nínú ysdm the focus remain where we are going ẹ lọ máa dáwó yẹn owó yẹn wà important kò ń ṣe pé wọ́n fẹ́ kọ fún Koiki ó wà important ó wà valuable fún ìrìn àjò yìí kódà Donald Trump mo ti kódà látàárọ̀ òní mò ń gbọ́ àwọn tí wọ́n kú èèyàn kan tó kú nígbà tí ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ tó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí tọ́fẹ́ pààyàn tọ́fẹ́ assassinated wọ́n ti raise $6 million fún family yẹn wọ́n dẹ̀ máa share pẹ̀lú àwọn tí ó jẹ́ méjì kan tó wà affected firefighter ni bàbá tó kú yẹn kódà àwọn ọkùnrin kan wà ọkùnrin ni wọ́n nígbà tí ìbọn yẹn ń bọ̀ òun ló fara gbà bọ́n yẹn òun àti ìyàwó ẹ̀ àtàwọn ọmọ méjì ló wà ní lẹ́yìn Donald Trump so when the bullet was coming wọn náà ló fara gbà ló fi kú èmi ò tẹ́ gbọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ rí because mo farabalẹ̀ gbọ́ gbogbo tí Donald Trump sọ and àdèmọ́ bíi election America fi lọ but wherever it goes kó favour ìran tiwa òun ló matter tó bá ti ní favour wa kó fira wọn sílẹ̀ àfẹ́ president tó ní favour ìran Yorùbá oyè yìí tí mò ń sọ I will endorse anybody but àfẹ́ president tí kò ní favour ìran Yorùbá èyí tó bá máa favour ìran Yorùbá láfẹ́ tó bá ní favour wa kó jẹ́ gbajàgbà wọn lọ so ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà nílé ká tó move forward you can send 150 naira that will cover the whole year má no ní 10 naira má sọ fún mi pé ó ní 150 you must have 150 you must have 150 and if we have millions of us doing that àtàyàn diaspora tó yẹ pé 10 naira no $10 £10 it will help the movement. Money is needed. Kò síbi kankan tí wọ́n ti ní owó. Donald Trump bó ṣe lówó tó wọ́n sì ń raise owó for the election tó fẹ́ ṣe. As much as Donald Trump ní owó burúkú lọ́wọ́ owó wà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ even though gbogbo gbèsè kún ọ̀rọ̀ ẹbí wèrè báyìí but wọ́n sì ń raise owó for the election. Conservative wọ́n raise owó at the July 4th election. Labour Party wọ́n raise owó so kí wàá ní tawatama sọ pé à raise owó we need money and money now. Mo kí grandma Lee Ajayi mo kí gbogbo ibẹ̀ ṣe ń wọlé lẹ́yìn méjì. So how can we send the money? Ẹ máa need the naira account ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ní Nàìjíríà ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ní America ẹ má send the naira ẹ lọ ṣe lórí website tẹ́ bá ṣe lórí website yẹn wá tún issue receipt fún yín ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ní Nàìjíríà ẹ lè ṣe lórí website. Reason is because the Nigerian bank account kò káàdì yẹn ò lè ṣiṣẹ́ lórí website. Yes, 120 naira covers you for the whole year. So tẹ́ bá san 150 because tẹ́ bá yẹ pé 120 náà lè fẹ́ san it covers for the whole year and you know that ìwọ náà ó ti san tithe ẹ fún ìran Yorùbá and that should be what should be our joy. So mo bẹ̀ wá ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà Nàìjíríà ẹ máa need the naira account any of our media anybody tẹ́ bá béèrè account yẹn àní sọ lórí social media but tẹ́ bá ti pè any media tẹ́ ní nọ́mbẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ bó jẹ́ tèmi ni bó jẹ́ ti any one of us wọ́n máa fún yín ní account details yẹn gbogbo ara ní lọ́wọ́. You can pay money into that and then you will know that you have done yours. Kódà bẹ́ẹ̀ bá tọ́jú receipt yẹn fúnra yín pé tó bá tẹ̀ dọ́jọ́ ọ̀la tó bá ní nígbà kan ní kó dáwó sí inú ìrìn àjò yìí ìwọ náà bá wọn dáwó ó nọ́ra. Kódà that 120 ó wà bigger than any other money anybody náà bá ti ń dábọ̀. So it is important that we all make this donation and it is voluntary. Má wàá dáwó kó wá béèrè lọ́wọ́ mi ní bí i insecond pé Koiki owó ta dá yẹn even though pé 120 ló dá kí lẹ fi ṣe ní sọ́ńtà fi ṣe fún yín o. Èmi kọ́ ni mo fẹ́ lò under Baba Akintoye àti àwọn YSDN àwọn ló máa mọ̀ ọ̀nà àti ibi tó máa channel ẹ̀ sí for the purpose and the future of the Yoruba people. 2 years ẹgbẹ́ bíbẹ̀ dáadáa 2 years màá tún ṣe program yẹn in another different topic because topic tèmi ni pé we shall create a true and respectable judiciary in tí bàbá sọ nìyẹn tá a bá gba country wa tí bá ṣẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ ìlú yẹn kódà wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ ṣẹjọ́ yẹn without no favour. Ọláyọmí Kóìkì bá ṣẹ̀ lọ́jọ́ iwájú tí kò ní pẹ́ mọ́ lórúkọ Jésù Kristi láṣẹ Èdùmàrè ní intolon sọ pé what God cannot do does not exist. Ọlọ́run fẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́ kò ń ṣàwà but a lè wá jókòó nísìnyí ká ní Ọlọ́run máa ṣiṣẹ́. So mo bẹ̀ wá mo ní wọ́n ẹgbọ́n mi dáadáa o torí gbà ní bí ayé ṣe Yorùbá tí mo sọ ẹ̀gbọ́n ni mo ní 120,000 o níbo lẹ ti fẹ́ rí 120,000 ẹ ti jẹun kánú mo ní 120 naira ṣé mo pe 1,000 nísìn torí gbàtẹ́ bá lọ ilẹ̀ máa ní Kóìkì ti ní kọ́ wá san 120,000 120 naira jẹ́ fi ara balẹ̀ kẹgbọ́n tá à ń sọ. There is always time for action. Action mi pé kí nǹkan kó dàrú ká jà ká ìyẹn náà action but for now I teach action. Àwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà lọ́nà fi ṣe action ẹ jẹ́ kó lọ ṣe action. I will teach action. Okay, we are not doing action now. What we are doing right now is we are doing awareness. Ẹ̀yin dẹ̀ kọ́ lẹ́ máa sọ fún Ìgbòho àti Baba Akintoye ìgbà tó máa pè fún action. Nobody can push us to that action because tá bá ti jáde fún action a gbọ́dọ̀ sọ pé a fail. Tẹ́ bá ti fail that will be the end of this movement. So better ká perfected nígbà tá a fẹ́ ṣe action gbogbo iná ẹ̀ ti ready. Ẹ má push wa fún action mọ́ nísìn. Nígbà tá a fẹ́ ṣe action tá à ń sọ pé action ni o gbogbo yín sọ pé ẹ̀ ti ready. 120 naira ni o mo ní 120,000 120 naira Mr. Dare kí lẹ sọ ẹni kí mo fẹ́ kílì yín mo kílì yín torí pé ìgbà tí ọ̀kan tún ní 120,000 ṣé ẹgbọ́ 1,000 ní gbogbo tí mo ti sọ látẹ̀ nǹkan mélòó ní ló ní 120,000 nínú account mélòó ló ní èmi gan tí mo jẹ́ Koikimedia gan kò ń ṣe pé tẹnu 0 làkáǹtì yẹn wà bó ṣe ń wọbẹ̀ ló ń jáde 0 làkáǹtì mi wà ní Nàìjíríà kò pé gbogbo tó wà bẹ́ẹ̀ kò pé 1,000 so kí ọkàn náà ní 120 àwọn kan ní o wọ́n ní 120 million tìbí senator yín kan àbí house of rep lọ́nà ra 75 million SUV fọ́mù ẹ̀ tó ṣe tán ní secondary school ó kọ̀ tẹ̀ ń ṣe bíbà tẹ́ pé wọ́n care I don't care attitude ẹ̀yin ọmọ Nàìjíríà in tó bá wù yín ni kẹ́ ṣe fún wọn ẹ lẹ̀ wọ́n lóko ẹ ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ ìyẹn ọ̀kan mi but àwa máa cover but mo dẹ̀ ti bá àwọn ọmọ mi sọ̀rọ̀ mo ní láti fún yín ní gbogbo details in 1 hour to 2 hours la fi ṣe meeting yẹn lánàá so 10 by 12 is 120 ẹni tó bá wà labroad náà ẹ lè sanwó yẹn one off ara àwọn tó ń fún wa £100 so tẹ bá san tiyín náà ní one off ọkàn yẹn á kúrò níbẹ̀ tó èèyàn lè gbàgbé problem dẹ̀ wà nílùú ìbò bíìlì wa ó wà níbí báyìí kò ṣe máa fi wọ̀nyí ni house bill owó bill kìíní kan bill báwa náà ṣe ń san nìyẹn kọ́lọ́n kó ṣàánú and àdè lè wà labroad ká nítorí pà ń ṣe Yorùbá nation náà kọ́lọ́n kó wà pẹ̀lú gbogbo wa mo kí ẹ Saheed Ire mo kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá nílé ẹ jẹ́ ká wá sínú program gangan so this is action time is always good but kí ló ń pè ní action anarchy riot protest ẹ gbébọn jáde tàbá níbọn nìyẹn àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ níbọn àwọn ò níbọn o but a ní Ọlọ́run tó máa dúró tì wá tásìkò yẹn bá tó so for now we are told to educate and give the reasons that you're bá Tinubu jà bọ̀ kó má tà wá 112 people are watching ṣẹ́rí thumbs up yẹn ó dà pé àwọn èèyàn ń gẹ̀tẹ̀ tẹ́ bá ti lọ sórí YouTube ibì kan wà nísàlẹ̀ ẹ máa kúrò ní comment section ẹ wá lọ bá wa thumbs up it will send a message to the internet that this program needs to be recommended so mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí ìyá mi Bukola Ahmed mo kí ní gbogbo United Kingdom gbogbo America ẹ ti jí ẹ̀yin ṣe ń lọ wíìkì làwọn ọmọ wa máa wà ní holiday àwọn kan ti wà ní last week àwọn tó lówó àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ mi kan ti dé òun àtìyàwó àtàwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ láti Nàìjíríà ní holiday ló wá ṣe not everybody can afford it mo rí Israel ọmọ tí ó ń bá Davido ṣiṣẹ́ ó náà ti fóun ní 10 years visa inú ẹ̀ ń dùn gan which is very good èmi náà gbàdúrà pé káwọn family mi náà lérò bẹ̀ but do you understand that not everybody will have that such opportunity ọlá Davido lòun jẹ́ tí kò bá sí Davido ń bẹ̀ ṣó lè gba 10 years visa maybe yes maybe no we need to understand that we are dealing with a globalist that doesn't want the indigenous people to progress in Nigeria it's as simple as that globalist ni there is an agenda to keep everybody below par Tinubu is an old man we pray for good health what happened after President Tinubu atumalo nurse look the Igbos will the Igbos will never be given the opportunity bóun wọn kọ́ ṣe anything but ní fún wọn láyè àwọn tó ní Koiki ẹ má ẹ̀kọ́ wá da Lagos rú yes we don't want them to come and destroy Lagos gbogbo protest tó bá fẹ́ ṣe ó gbọ́dọ̀ lọ ní gbogbo 36 states of the Federal Republic of Nigeria tó bá ń ṣe protest ní Lagos tó ṣe ní South East tó dẹ̀ ṣe ní North á jẹ́ pé there is an agenda for it but ẹ jẹ́ ká wo bí tí protest yẹn fẹ́ já sí ẹ má tí jáde too much against pé is an Igbo agenda is a Peter Obi agenda everybody is hungry ọmọ Yorùbá dey hungry wọ́n ní ebi ń pa wá gbogbo wa la gbọ́ ẹ̀dẹ̀gbọ́ táwọn ìyá yẹn sọ ṣé àwọn ọmọ Igbo náà ló lè fáwọn ìyá yẹn lówó tọ́ni we go protest we go open our yansh we go open kìíní kan gbogbo wa la gbọ́ táwọn ìyá wa kan jáde tọ́nà we go open our breast ẹ jẹ́ ká play yẹn ká tó máa tẹ̀síwájú.
This too much this suffering is too much for this country please if government work if they cannot protest we Iyaloja we go open our yansh we go open our breast we go.
ẹ má open breast ẹ má open yansh but this suffering is too much. So there is nothing like an agenda but kò sí nǹkankan náà tí kò lè ní agenda lábẹ́ agenda tiwa nísìn ni pé a fẹ́ gba Yorùbá nation ìjọ táwa bá ti ń jáde tẹ tuntun gbọ́ ká lọ ṣe restructure ṣé regional ẹ máa da ẹ̀yìn èèyàn mi ọmọ kẹsà fún platform yìí kẹ mọ̀ pé platform yìí ti compromise kẹ sọ pé platform Koiki tí gbogbo yín gbójúlé but Ọlọ́run ni wá ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ fún wa light alive mo débi ni last master èmi ò níbi kankan tẹ́mi lọ èmi tí ń wá ọjọ́ yìí ti pẹ́ èmi tí ń wá irú ọjọ́ yìí kò ń ṣe lénìí but kò lè yé gbogbo wa irú ọjọ́ báyìí àwa tí ń wá ti pẹ́ pé kó dé but àwa mọ̀pọ̀ náà báyìí ló máa dé Dàpọ̀ Williams ajá tó ń ṣe kékeré but bá ṣe ń jà là ń parí ẹ̀gbọ́n tó like mi ó nífẹ̀ẹ́ mi tó ó fẹ́ brand mi dé lẹ́ni wọ́n fẹ́ fún mi ní access sí APC nínú Àbújá lásọ̀rọ̀ mo sọ fún wọn pé no a ní Nàìjíríà ò ṣiṣẹ́ àtẹ̀wọ̀n pé kò ṣiṣẹ́ tá à ń sọ yẹn kò ń ṣe pé kò ṣiṣẹ́ àṣé problem ẹ̀ gangan ni pé kí Yorùbá kó pull out ká dá dúró òun fúnra rẹ̀ nísìn is a dead man. He died during the COVID. Kódà ikú ẹ̀ ò ṣe máa sọ lórí social media. Ikú tó ń dùnyàn ni. Àwọn tó bá mọ Uncle Dapo Williams ní UK. Ikú tó ń dùnyàn tíyàn gbọ́dọ̀ máa sọ lórí social media ni. But bọ́lọ̀ ń ṣe kọ́ sílẹ̀ nìyẹn. Bọ́lọ̀ ń ṣe kọ́ sílẹ̀ nìyẹn. Lẹ́yìn ikú ẹ̀gàn sef, ìjà rẹpẹtẹ tún ṣẹlẹ̀ ní UK. Ẹ má ká tún lọ síbẹ̀ yẹn. But he was a good man. Èèyàn tó náwó ni. But at the end of the day, no. Àwọn tó bá ti súnmọ́ politician, who knows? Prophet Tibetan sọ̀rọ̀ nípa wọn, màá fi yẹn sílẹ̀. Let's come back to the program. Koikimedia ló ń pe bíbà. Má wá disrespect àwọn èèyàn tí mò ń bá sọ̀rọ̀ ní bíbà. Tó o bá fẹ́ gbọ́n tí mò ń sọ, the world is a bigger place. Just go out and go and listen to something else. Má wá sí bíbà. Look, I have so many screens. Screen pọ̀ nínú ilé mi tí mo fi monitor program mi. I am live on all the platforms. Fully live. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, then plus some other ones I don't want to tell you. 8 device. The one iwájú mi. I will pick your comment wherever you're typing that comment. Don't come here and say, shut up. Kinika. Mabuba bear, mabu ye, mawa block it. Mukia to be milomo. So let's go into the program. Mukibu going to United Arab Emirates. My brother, can I pay any amount ẹ bá fẹ́ pay, but the most important thing is one hour can struggle láti send 10 naira ìyẹn ló ṣe ní bí akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ san in block, because if you cannot send 10 naira from your bank account in Nigeria, then you should just do it in one block. So ẹ̀kọ́ san 120 yẹn and to cover for the whole year. Tẹ́ bá wá ní sí fine, but the instruction is 10-10. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ní Ghana, Koiki báwo la ṣe máa san tiwa ẹ̀san sí náírà. Àwọn tó wà ní diaspora tó jẹ́ pé ẹ lè lo card tí kò ní ní problem, ẹ lọ sórí ysdm.org, kẹ lọ sí donation subscription and then register so that you can get receipt. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ní Saudi Arabia 10, but most of us know how to send money to Nigeria. Mo kí bàbá mi Kúnlé Shita. Kò sẹ́ni tó máa ná wọn mọ bó ṣe ń send owó sí Nigeria. You must be able to know that. Peter George mo kí àwọn Biafra. Mo kí Kent. I have Biafra that are paying salary to me as well. Wọ́n fún mi lówó, mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ wọn. So mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí ìwọ tó wá jókòó sábẹ́ ètò àdúrà tí ẹni pé ká ṣọ́tọ̀ Yorùbá nation ní bọ́sí àbúyín àbáyínjà bọ̀ ẹ jẹ́ ká jọkọ̀ gbọ́ àgbọ́yé ṣé Nàìjíríà ṣe máa ṣiṣẹ́ ṣó máa ṣiṣẹ́ nígbà tí Tinubu wà níbẹ̀. We pray kódà èmi fẹ́ kí Tinubu kó bá wa invest sí gbogbo Southwest just as Buhari did during his tenure, just as Jonathan did. Kó roko díẹ̀ sọ́dọ̀ tiwa kó tó rí pé Nàìjíríà máa pín. But I say to Tinubu, and I'm saying it again, ẹni tẹ́ bá mọ̀ ẹni Koiki sọ fún pé kó àwọn weapons wa tó wà ní north tí gbogbo wọ́n rà kalẹ̀ tí Buhari rà lọ́wọ́ Turkey tó rà lọ́wọ́ America tó wà káàkiri tó kó sí north, let him bring it back. Let him bring it back. Ghana currency is CD, it doesn't matter. Àti CD àti whatever, ìtò important ni pé ẹ̀san 10 naira yín àti 10 CD àti 10 euro àti whatever, just pay it. Intermediate nìyẹn. Ẹni tó bá ń gbọ́ program wákàtí ń sọ lójoojúmọ́ tẹ́ẹ̀dẹ̀ san á jẹ́ pé something is not right. Ẹni tó bá need the naira account and if it's on the comment section, ẹ máa reach out sí any of the media, must be Omoluka, myself, anyone, including Yeye Dara, Lady B, Lady K, Yoruba World Media, every one of us have it. Ẹni tó bá wá fún yín bóyá kò ní lọ́wọ́, but we expect every Yoruba sons and daughters tó ń ṣe media ó gbọ́dọ̀ ní accounting lọ́wọ́. But láwọn tá a lè dárúkọ mo wo brother mi kan ní ọ̀sán ìkí tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ program, very fantastic analysis. Yoruba people wake up. Tinubu ti tà wá. So what we are going to start from is we shall create a true and respectable judiciary. Right now the judiciary system in Nigeria is a failure and we all know that. How many cases ló wà ní court that has gone for the last how many years and it is not yet resolved? So what are we going to do now? We're going to read this and then I will then start doing a bit of analysis. Then I will also in local government here. We are still good with time. We've just done 44 minutes. If you're new to the platform, like I said, just share the program and invite others as well. There will be action on later and good news, path to prosperity in our Orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá by Professor Adebanji Akintoye. Ẹ má bínú, mo ti set it ada because I think I had it open here. Yeah, no. Topic and economy, page 42. Our journalists are man like a art paper, rather than just number. So page 42 lawa. We shall evolve an effective foreign policy. No conscion lele. Mo kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá ní gbogbo ibi tí ẹ ti ń gbọ́ wa. We shall have truly Yoruba national military. Ìgbà tá bá débẹ̀, I'll be so happy. Military I saw a video where a military officer was beaten in okay, we shall create a trustworthy and respectable judiciary. And those are the things. It's just one paper. Paper by anything, and our dissected. Olukaluku ma wa analysis. Inti baba kito eni gbele wa lọ́wọ́ nìyẹn. Iṣẹ́ tó ní ká lọ máa ṣe nísìn nìyẹn. Iṣẹ́ tó bẹ̀ gbogbo wa nísìn, òun lè mi ṣe tèmi lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́. And we hope that all our other medias would also start quickly, because platform colleagues could connect gbogbo ẹ̀. If all the platforms are doing the same thing, á tètè máa yá wọn yàn. Olukaluku á dẹ̀ lè máa analyze it one way or the other. And tó bá béèrè account number kò ń ṣe lórí social media báyìí láti fi fún yín, ẹ send message wa lẹ́yìn ní background. So tẹ́ bá ti ní number wa, tẹ́ bá dẹ̀ ní number tèmi, ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ ní number media kan. So eléyìí nísìn is just one, but eléyìí nísìn for the whole week la máa fi treated. In as tabaka gbogbo word yìí nísìn ó lè má tó 300. So why is it difficult for others to do it is what I don't know. Iṣẹ́ yìí kò ń ṣe iṣẹ́ èèyàn kan. So we hope that our media bàbá pé gbogbo ọbẹ̀ wa ni. So kò ń ṣe pé mo wá knock anybody. So let's hope they will all listen, rather than all the bigotry and the fighting that is not necessary and is creating a lot of, setback for many people, because they're like, kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀? Kò dẹ̀ sí nǹkan kan tó ṣẹlẹ̀. Kò sẹ́ni kankan tó lè pull Yoruba Nation down. Not even myself. So let's go further. In unit 22, 7th, 2024. Same time, la ń lò pẹ̀lú Nigeria. Aago méjì ló lù lọ́dọ̀ tiwa. Sometimes we say 1400 hours. So we go straight into it. The good news. Path to Prosperity in Our Orílẹ̀-èdè Yoruba by Professor Adebanji Akintoye. We shall create a trustworthy and respectable judiciary. In Nigeria, the judiciary is beset by three weaknesses. First, magistrates and judges commonly take bribes. Quite ordinary citizens can't buy judgment in the court. Many influential public persons are known to be able to get whatever judgment they want in the court because they have bought many judges across the country and are able to buy any judge at ease. The buying and selling of judgment has been with Nigeria court since the inception of court in the earliest years of British rule. With such a judicial tradition, no country can exist in assured peace and order or develop in a healthy manner. Secondly, the influence of the executive government of the Nigerian court is too much and too balanced. In Nigeria, the people in the executive arm of government usually operate with the presumption that they are the lords over the judiciary, the legislature, and all. The executive government intervention in court cases are common, and judiciary has never stood its ground. And furthermore, the executive government commonly refuses to carry out or simply ignores court judgment. Thirdly, some of the judges themselves have been found partaking in Nigeria's culture of official corruption. In the culture of stealing and sharing of public money, not long ago, millions of naira in naira notes were found by police officials in the home of a senior judge. And more recently, the Chief Justice of Nigeria was caught in the act of stealing millions of naira and had to resign. All this has been done much damage to the prestige of judiciary. Our Orílẹ̀-èdè Yoruba is ambitiously conceived by us people as a country of great order and peace, with a judiciary that is implicitly respected by all, including by the executive government. Our country will enact special laws for these purposes, including laws by which the executive government can be compelled to respect the court. The good news, Path to Prosperity in our Orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá by Professor Adebanji Akintoye. Now, we've read that part, and I want us to now come out with cases that you can remember. Emma Fidemi Nikon, if you come out with any cases, I will just type it on the Google and we can talk about it. What case do you think that we should talk about when we talk about the failure of a judicial system in Nigeria? Only any local state, in local state level or the federal level. Ṣé governor ni wọ́n gbé lọ sí court ni? Kí làwọn cases tí ẹ ti rí láàrin ara yín between universities, between colleges, even between businesses? Ẹ jẹ́ ká sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí, because then a lè ní better understanding that ṣé bá ṣe máa tẹ̀lé Nàìjíríà ní dọ̀gọ̀dọ̀gọ̀ bí dọ̀lúdọ̀lú, knowing fully well that we cannot achieve anything if a judicial system is working. But for us to break it down, kí ni wọ́n ń pè ní judicial for the start? Because àkọ́kọ́ gbọ́dọ̀ ní understanding. Tá bá kọ́kọ́ lọ sọ pé kí ni meaning judicial, which we can then start getting a better meaning. Ẹlòmíì ò mọ̀ tán pè bẹ́ẹ̀. So tá bá sọ pé, or let's put it this way, judiciary. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí, wherever you're joining us, please share the button and invite others to join us as well. This is Koikimedia Live, as we continue to educate and prepare our mind on the total exit of what is known as Nigeria. So judiciary. Judiciary, according to the business English, is the part of a country's government that is responsible. It's a very, very important place, because if your judicial is not working, many countries around the world will be very, very skeptical to work with you to set up businesses, because if they cannot guarantee between the staff and the company, what do you do? So the part of a country's government that is responsible for its legal system, and which consists of all the judges in the country. Judiciary is the arm of government, according to my brother there, Babawa, Triple DRS Ayuba. Wani, judiciary is the arm of government that's supposed to interpret the law of the land. Shenotikpe Ruga was coming up. We thought that we had a very good learned senior advocate of Nigeria during the Buhari administration. That was a man that we loved, we respected when he was the Lagos State Chief Judge or whatever that was giving it. I'm talking about Yemi Osinbajo. But nígbà tó di kó dé federal, ṣe ni Yemi Osinbajo kò tẹ̀ rántí pé òfin kan wà tí wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ lò. Ẹ má bínú. Mo wà lórí program, kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀? Yeah. The conscious more already program missing. So more already program missing. Move to already life. We're going to bounce on our field through. All right. It might be no. Family noni. So let's start the Twitter bar because that has been interrupted. A very good afternoon and welcome to the transmission. My name is OLAYOMI KOIKI. Gbogbo tẹ́ bá lè fún mi láti fi support the program tá à ń ṣe lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ kò ń ṣòwò, especially when it comes to the discussion right now on the judiciary. I want you to remind me of court cases and things that have happened and things that are still happening. Because if we do not have that kind of judicial system we have in Nigeria today, for how long then are we going to start building it? When they are meant to build it, they are using their paddy, the chief judge, and so many of them, especially when Buhari was there. We saw how Malami was messing around. It was the Attorney General of the Federation. Yeah, it was Attorney General of the Federation, which I believe is almost the same thing. I guess. Mumbo, Mufesari post the audio and sit again. Please, share the program and invite yours and others to come and listen and let us educate us again this afternoon on this broadcast. Yoruba Nation is a project, and that project will be delivered regardless of what your take or your belief systems are. Nigeria stopped working, and it will never work. There's no amount of what you do that will revive the judicial system to be a very better one for me and you. Wow, America only back on the ground, Lat America. Let's meet tonight at 7 p.m. What ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ mọ́ra wọn. Ṣé wọn náà ti dé padà sí Nàìjíríà o? Ó ní kẹ́ pàdé òun ní 7 o'clock lórí channels. Aláwàdà. Now, let's first go into it. Wọ́n ní ká lọ sórí Abba Kyari decorated cup case. Ẹ ṣé gan ni bàbá wa Eniola. So let's go and look at, was Abba Kyari that Nigeria Inspector Corps, Abba Kyari case was compromised. We saw how Abba Kyari, Alhaji Kyari, was born 17 March 1975. He's a former Nigerian police officer who was also a deputy commissioner of police, currently on suspension. We saw how his case ended up to be something that a lot of questions continue to be asked surrounding Abba Kyari, because it's like, hey, there was some kind of favor. And let's just go, I'm just Googling this now, and let me give you 3 days ago, Abba Kyari lost his appeal to quash drug trafficking case. But presently, right now, he's not in the detention. Ṣé nítorí pé case tiẹ̀ ó wà a little bit far better than the Olóyè Igboho. Remember that the Olóyè Igboho's case as well, which we can use. So let's go and then find out, why is Olóyè Igboho's case? Let's go back to Igboho versus federal government of Nigeria. The court case. Igboho versus federal government court case. So that Kale fi ṣe understanding of what we are dealing with here. Let's go back to the 20th of August 2022. The Court of Appeal in Ibadan on Tuesday nullified the 20 billion cost awarded against the federal government in a fundamental human rights suit that was filed by Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho, popularly known as Sunday Igboho, Edekaloka premium times of the time as at that time. The court described the cost awarded as outrageous. Why Teshima issue 20 billion naira from Igboho? Are we saying that Igboho does not deserve that amount with the destruction of his property? We're not even talking about the 2 people that were killed, not even the animals. But it seems that, as always, you can never get justice with the current state of things in Nigeria. So if you're one of those, Mukibaba Rasak Bankole, Zaki Adini Mukibuboyi, just reason went further to say, what I cannot understand is how most of our friends decide to banish those on comment section saying things they do not agree with, doing exactly the same thing they accuse the Nigerian government of. I'm not too sure what that is all about, but let's continue. The Court of Appeal in Ibadan, this was sometime around last 2 years ago, August precisely the 30th, 2022. The Court of Appeal in Ilu Ibadan on Tuesday said, no, we cannot award Igboho 20 billion naira against the federal government in a fundamental human rights suit that was filed by Igboho as at the time. Ladiran Akintoye, a judge of the Oyo State High Court on September 17, 2021, awarded 20 billion cost as an exemplary and aggravated damage. Yeah, God, thanks so much, just reason. Let's go and look at the meaning of aggravated, because I want to school. So for us to first understand aggravated, okay, into meaning, so let's first go for aggravated. So the word
aggravated.
Aggravated. Pronounce you have to see African with him if you pronounce it.
Aggravated.
Aggravated. It is made more serious by attendant circumstances. We can always say as well that made some severe in recognition of a seriousness of an offense. The offense of is even worth more than the 20 billion. But the judge just looked at it and waited and said, okay, for peace to reign between Ashimbolori and Nnamdi Kanu as well. But let's first talk about Igbowo's case. Between Igbowo and federal government, you have gone to his house. You have not issued an arrest warrant. Maybe if that arrest warrant have been issued, Igbowo did not turn up, you will turn up in the daytime, not in the night. You don't go in the night as if Igbowo was a criminal. But Afunaya Olori Buruku Omo Igbo, as at the time, there was a DSS communication, whatever, said that they had intelligence that Igbowo was stockpiling weapons in the house, but all the terrorists that are stockpiling and invading the military barracks, they don't have any evidence to know where they are right now. But one mobiti Igbowo, what in the satellite, Igbowo is stockpiling weapons. And as Professor Wole Soyinka said, that was just cock and bull story. We know that the government are used to that. It's not the first time that the government will say, oh, we know that you are carrying weapon. But àwọn tó ń jí owó nínú Nigeria tó fi lọ ra weapon. I'm talking about the current defense minister, Bello Matawali, that the terrorists have confirmed to us that àwọn ni òun ló ń support àwọn financially and giving them all the backing. So aggravated, when we say the word aggravated, what does it mean? Angry or displeased, especially because of a small problem or annoyances. The Igbowo problem was not a small one. It was a massive problem because not only people were moved into Abuja that had to endure pains for weeks and weeks and weeks. We lost 2 innocent Yoruba people that should not have died. Accident, but they were killed by a Fulani man that gave the instruction to take the head of Igbowo, because Igbowo was asking for the right of the Yoruba people not to be massacred, not to be killed by the same element of people. So you can see the injustice. Don't lọ nínú Nigeria. So ìwọ tí o tẹ̀ tí jẹ́ èèyàn tó yẹ pé à ń gbàdúrà pé kó lè jẹ́ èèyàn, but o lè jẹ́ èèyàn nínú Nigeria fi tó bá parọ́ fún rẹ̀. Kódà tó bá súnmọ́ àwọn tó jẹ́. I was listening to, like I said, my brother Saidire, and he was making some point there. Tó bá tẹ̀ lọ ńlá dí wọn, wọ́n máa padà fọ́gbò mọ́ ẹ lórí bí Koko Zaria náà ni. Because you will still be disrespected. By now, ó yẹ kí ọlọ́pàá ti gbé Koko Zaria. Whether over commit offense or commit offense, ọlọ́pàá láti kọ́kọ́ gbé kó wá ṣe investigation. But we are living in a system where everybody is powerful. Tó bá ti lè fọ́gbò tó lè gúnyàn, tó bá ti lè dúró tó lè yìnbọn, you become a very powerful person in Nigeria, and you are likely to go away with all kind of manners of crime. Where are all the crimes against Fayose today? Wọ́n kàn postpone ẹni. FFK ṣì ní case ní court, wọ́n ti dájọ́ láti judge. Ó dẹ̀ ń jayé lọ nínú Nigeria. Many of these politicians all have cases. Níbo ni kíní wà nísìn, Yaya Bello. Tí wọ́n bá lọ sáré jí nǹkan kan nísìn, or kò ní misunderstanding pẹ̀lú èèyàn, wàá rí pọ́lọ́pàá máa tiẹ̀ mọ́lé. But ọlọ́pàá ò lè ti Yaya Bello mọ́lé kódà wọ́n tí mọ̀bí tó wà. So the judicial system in Nigeria will not be the same when we have a country like Yoruba Nation. Let me bring it back to the UK. Gbogbo ilẹ̀ rí nígbà tí mo lọ sí court during the Dezani trial in London. Kí ni wọ́n charge Dezani fún? Wọ́n charge for a crime. A crime. Mo ń bọ̀, ẹ yẹ ká padà síbẹ̀ because à ń ṣe analysis n tó ń pè ní judicial system. Alison Madueke tó ń pè ní Dezani. Ó ṣẹ̀. Ó wá sá wá sí Nàìjíríà, ó sá wá sí UK. Ó rò pé tóun bá wá sí UK, òun máa free. Àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́. Ó ti wá gbàgbé pé UK wọ́n máa padà lè mú, and that is exactly, what happened to Dezani. Mo ń bọ̀. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí. Dezani Alison Madueke, born just on the day that Nigeria was given a fake independence. She was born on December 6, 1960, just about a few months after. 63 years old from Port Harcourt, took advantage of what Nigerians should have enjoyed for herself, her cronies, Aluko, and the rest of all the criminals. And yet, she thought that she would run away. Even in Nigeria, there's likely Moki our Pastor Mo, one good day. Nigerian judicial system is full of evil. Moki Bishop Adesina. If you have the time, maybe later, after a few more minutes of my analysis, I will allow you to come through. Because this judiciary gongon is the backbone of any country. If the judicial has failed, Moki Baba Ganiu Suraju, Moki brother our Konsi Brooklyn, if we failed in having a judicial system, we cannot say we have a country. That country is as a failure. Everybody must be innocent until proven guilty at the court of law. And that is exactly what the Zani is enjoying today. But the NCA, the National Crime Agency, according to the BBC, or should I just go straight to the NCA themselves website, even the Sky, these are all the headlines that came out of Dezani. We are not saying Dezani is guilty of the crime here because she's not been found guilty. So Dezani is enjoying what many of you will not be able to enjoy in the present day Nigeria. She has been given the bail condition, yet Nnamdi Kanu has surpassed all that, but yet the government continue to hold him on whatever reason. Ìyẹn la ṣe ń sọ pé tí gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì Tinubu bá jẹ́ gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì tó ní làákàyè tó dẹ̀ fẹ́ jẹ́ kí atẹ̀mí pé integrity wà nínú ìjọba ẹ̀, kò sí any reason tó gbọ́dọ̀ mọ́ọ̀dì Nnamdi Kanu, kò sí any reason tó gbọ́dọ̀ má ti sanwó fún olóyè Ìgbòho owó gbà má bínú, wọ́n fún Ìgbòho lówó gbà má bínú, wọ́n tún gbé ẹsẹ̀ lé owó rẹ̀ tí ó jẹ́ pé òun ló lọ ṣiṣẹ́ àgún ẹ̀. I don't understand, and you want us to remain in that kind of system. Ìwọ tó tẹ̀ jẹ́ èèyàn, à ń bẹ Ọlọ́run pé kò jẹ́ èèyàn níbọ̀, o lè jẹ́ èèyàn nínú Nàìjíríà. Èèyàn tó bá máa jẹ́ á jẹ́ pé lẹ́yìn ìgbà tá a bá kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà kò sẹ́ni kankan tó lè jẹ́ èèyàn nínú Nàìjíríà. And I'll give an example. Tó bá kọ́lé, tó bá ní problem pẹ̀lú any one of you within that house tó kọ́ yẹn, o lè ní better legal system tó máa support ẹ̀. Ǹjẹ́ mọ̀ pé àwọn diaspora nílùú yìí, most of us enjoy what they called kí ló máa ń pè gbọ́n mi triple DRS. There's a legal term that tó bá lówó lọ́wọ́ ìjọba máa support ẹ láti gba funding fún legal case tó bá fẹ́ ṣe. Ó ní bó ṣe máa ń pè bí wọ́n tó bá fi sínú comment section, mo rántí mọ́ nísìnyí, you will be able to get legal assistance. Ṣé rí gbogbo rally time tó máa ń ṣe ní London, àwọn òyìnbó náà tó ń ṣe kò ń ṣe tiwa o. Bọ́lọ́pàá bá mú yàn, àwọn èèyàn kan ti wà níbẹ̀ tó fẹ́ sáré wá fún ẹ ní advice tó máa ṣe, wọ́n máa ní má sọ̀rọ̀ káwọn fi jọ dé police station. Wọ́n lè máa bi ọlọ́pàá yẹn pé police station ó lè ń gbé lọ because àwọn tẹ̀lé lọ lẹ́yìn legal aid. Ẹ ṣé gan ni ìyá mi Pastor Mo, kò ní bàjẹ́ fún yín grandma. Gbogbo ọmọ tó ń gbé ní UK oníwèé òníwèé gbogbo wa ti jàǹfààní tó ń pè ní legal aid. Ẹ ṣé gan ni triple DRS. Ó jẹ́ kí Nàìjíríà náà fẹ́yìn náà ní legal aid because reason tí ẹ ṣe lè ṣe kéèsì ẹni tó gbalẹ̀ bàbá yín òun ni pé ẹ ní owó tẹ́fẹ́ fi ṣe kéèsì yẹn. So the whole structure of Nigeria tá à ń sọ yìí ó ju ọ̀rọ̀ Fúlàní pa wá nínú igbó lọ. There is so many obstacles that cannot be resolved tá a bá ṣì wà nínú Nàìjíríà gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ Yorùbá, but tá a bá gba Yorùbá country, ẹni tó ní owó tó lówó ó ní right láti gbé olówó lọ sí court, legal aid ló máa lò. O ní láti sọ pé olówó tí Ọ̀tẹ́dọ́lá bá ṣẹ̀mí lọ́jọ́ ọ̀la tàdé tí wà nínú ilẹ̀ Yorùbá máa gbé lọ sí court, but ìjọba ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ló máa fund èmi nítorí òun lówó. Ìdí tí ẹ ṣe lè ṣe many cases nìyẹn tẹ ṣe ń fail because you want to prove that you are living in a country where that country does not support your legal aid. Mo kí àwa Sarah Ajayi ẹgbẹ́ wọlé share button, and this is the reason why tí bàbá Akintoye ṣe sọ pé for us to have a better life, for us pé ká lè wá jẹ ayé, má sọ pé o kọ́kọ́ fẹ́ lọ jẹ ayé lọ́run, kọ́kọ́ jẹ tayé bíbáyìí náà. O tí jẹ ti bíbáyìí, o wá náà lọ jẹ tọ̀run. Why are you looking for the afterward when we should be surviving here first before the aftermath of whatever happened to us in the near future? Many of you, ó jẹ́ kẹ́ máa sue local government. That local government yẹn gan nísìn ó ti fẹ́ di wàhálà sí wa lọ́rùn. Ìyẹn máa wá ní towards the second half of the program. A ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ 1 hour ni. Ẹgbẹ́ wọlé share button. Mo kí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí MixLR. If you have joined us from there, mo kí ẹ Abiodun Ogunmala. 5 people are listening there. Allow Baba, good afternoon to you. MixLR saves you a lot of money because ẹ ní láti ní data púpọ̀. Mo kí àwa Joy Bodurin. One, that's a fact. Many Nigerians should have access to legal aid. mo kíyàwó mo dúpẹ́ ẹ ṣé gan ni alówóye. I stand with Yorùbá nation àsìkò ti tó láti gba òmìnira fún ọmọ Oòduà. Ẹ ṣé gan ni grandma, ẹ má bínú tí n bá porúkọ yẹn dáadáa. Mo kí bàbá wa ìyá mi Esther as well. Àwọn màmá ti gbórí wọlé lẹ́nìí. Àwọn màmá tó ń dáàbò bò wá. Mo ní láti bàtà bẹ̀rẹ̀ Yorùbá nation. Èmi máa ń sùn máa ń datọ́ ni torí pé kí ni ẹ̀rù gbọ́dọ̀ bọ́ odò nígbà táwọn ìyá yìí ń ṣàdúrà fún wa lójoojúmọ́. Wọ́n ní ìwọ máa lọ sùn. Ariwo tí wọ́n ń pa yẹn wọ́n ní àtàkẹ́ lóru. Àwa ń ṣàìsùn fún wọn yàtọ̀ sí pé ìyàwó tèmi náà ń ṣe lójoojúmọ́. Mo kí ìyàwó Fẹ̀wé bí Esther. Mo kí ó dà pé ìlú Ìbàdàn lẹ́wà bó dẹ̀ pẹ̀lẹ́ sí travel ní Ìbàdàn náà ó yẹ kí gbogbo wa ní legal aid. Every local government, every province ó jẹ́ kó lè gbé anybody lọ sí court kí o dẹ̀ gba legal aid. À ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ìran Yorùbá. Mo kí àmì Sadiu Adéfúnkẹ́ àwọn orúkọ ńláńlá àwọn orúkọ tó níyì lọ́wọ́. Mo kí ìyá Elizabeth Adesanya. Alhaji Dahu mo kí yín. Mo kí gbogbo wa pé ọ̀nà àbáyọ tí a fi máa ní a better judicial system. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n tún sáré kàdí ẹ̀ níbí báyìí. A sì ń sọ̀rọ̀ Dezani. Èmi rí Dezani sójú. Ó wò mí náà wò kò lè ṣe nǹkan kan fún mi. Nígbà tá a jáde àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀fẹ́ máa sọ pé èyí tó kọ rìkọ́ọ̀dì tó abẹ́mu pápá yóò ní bolẹ̀ rẹ̀ pẹ́ wà. Sí Nàìjíríà. You can see how the judicial system penalized and jailed that criminal because to the criminal ẹni tó bá ti jail criminal ni. Ẹni tó ti jail ni a gbọ́dọ̀ wà careful láti pè ní criminal but crime against humanity Dezani ti ṣe. Owó tó ní kó fi túlù ṣe owó epo rọ̀bì òun ni wọ́n ṣe fa Dangote wọ́n ti rá lẹ́pọ̀n báyìí nísìn ó lóun ò ṣe stealing wọ́n náà ti sú òun. So in tí wọ́n ṣe ìwọ̀n fèsì nísìn ìjọ mọ̀ pé àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá ń fèsẹ̀ nínú igbó pẹ̀lú àwọn Fúlàní olórí burúkú tẹ lọ kó wá tí wọ́n kí àwọn Yorùbá kọ́ dáyé ṣe ààrẹ tún lè gbé wọn lọ sí court. Tá a bá lọ sí police station ṣe lọ́wọ́ máa sọ fún wa pé kí ló wá ṣẹlẹ̀ wọ́n gé yín lọ́wọ́ ó dáa wọ́n máa ba gbogbo kéèsì yẹn jẹ́ kódà ọmọ Yorùbá ló máa tì mọ́lé kò ń ṣe pé àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá ọmọ tó lè ṣe ẹ̀rù sì ń bá wọn ni pé táwọn bá ṣe tó kọ́ ṣe it will fall back on them àfi tí gbogbo ẹ̀ bá débì kan tó dé orí M1 àwọn kankan wà tó yẹ pé kò ní dọ́dọ̀ ọlọ́pàá mọ́. So we are talking about the judicial system. Èmi mo ní kọ́ bá máa fa account number síta lóòrèkóòrè every 1 hour every half an hour so ẹlòmíì lè máa gbọ́n tí pé ẹ̀ kàn fún wa lówó èmi ni mo ń sọ tètè mi ni o mo kí ọmọ Bọ́lájí Abdullahi. The legal aid is one of the most important part of this UK and European country. Ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́kọ́ lọ sí ọ̀dọ̀ Dezani ká wá padà sọ́dọ̀ olóyè Ìgbòho àwọn kéèsì mẹ́ta ta fẹ́ lò àtàwọn bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ a máa lo Nnamdi Kanu. We might not agree or love Nnamdi Kanu. I am not here to defend him. But I am saying that ṣé bí wọ́n ṣe Nnamdi Kanu pẹ̀lú the judicial system Nigeria, is it right? Ó má lè jẹ́wọ́ náà, ó lè jẹ́ mi náà. Kódà tá a bá ṣì wà nù Nàìjíríà tá náà ṣe Yorùbá nation. Ṣé bá ṣe máa wà náà nìyẹn tí ó máa lo agbára lé wa lórí? Many of the politicians should be in the prison. But they are there moving around and still telling us that kò sí nǹkan tá lè ṣe because àwọn àtàwọn George wọ́n jọ mu ọtí ní Èkó club ní Ìkòyí club kìíní kan polo gbogbo ẹ̀ lọ́jọ́ wọ́n ń ṣe fàájì and they do not care. Ike Ekéremàdò ní padà sí Nàìjíríà until tí Tinubu máa fi ṣe government ẹ̀tàn tí kò lè ní bóyá by the time tí Ike Ekéremàdò fi jáde kò ní sí Nàìjíríà mọ́. That is subject to me and you if we truly want Nigeria to go because kókò jáde kó gbọ́ pé Biafra ti dé ìlú ẹ̀ ni kó máa lọ kò ní ní láti lọ sí Àbújá mọ́ tó bá lọ sí Àbújá kò ní sí property fún mọ́ kọ́lọ̀ ń tẹ̀lé kí gbogbo property tó jí kó ṣì wà available because they keep stealing money. But ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́n tí wọ́n sọ nípa Dezani Alison Madueke another criminal tí gbogbo wa mọ̀ ní Nàìjíríà tó wá sá lọ tí Bob D sọ fún wa pé ó ti ní breast cancer so ṣé ìgbà tó wọ bra gold yẹn ló ní breast cancer ni àbí kó tó wọ̀ because we know that inú ilé Dezani wọ́n ní wọ́n jí owó kan nínú bẹ̀ over £5 million tí kò bá jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ èlò gan ló wà nínú ilé yẹn. I pity a lot of Yoruba people tẹ̀sí sọ pé ẹ fẹ́ support Nigeria. Dezani himself or herself owó tó ní wọ́n lé lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ wọ́n jí góòlẹ̀ wọ́n jí kinní kan ó wá lọ report làwọn yẹn wá ní ẹ ṣe díẹ̀díẹ̀ owó tó ń wọnú ilé ìjọ owó táwa jí lọ. Ẹ rántí Ìkòyí saga àbí Ìkòyí gate owó tó kúrò mẹ́ how many money ló ti kúrò? Ǹjẹ́ judicial system lè penalize àwọn people yìí? Irọ́ ni kò lè ṣe kankan because gbogbo wọn ti mọ George wọ́n ti mọ Tinubu bribe all the judges ní election tó ṣe tán yìí ẹnẹ́ mi ni mo sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ Ọláyọmí Kóìkì they are all criminals. criminal gidi òun ni Tinubu, criminal gidi ni Ambode, criminal gidi ni gbogbo àwọn olóṣèlú yín. Ẹni kọ́ jáde kọ́ wá fi ògùn búra, kò ń ṣògùn tí àwọn babaláwo tí wọ́n máa mú wa, àwa la máa lọ mú àwọn babaláwo tí wá tọ́mọ wa búra nídìí ògùn, má gbé Bible wá, má dẹ̀ gbé Quran wá. They are all criminals. But ẹ̀yin like our criminals yín, yet you cannot enjoy a proper legal system in that country. I pity a lot of you. Continue to say you want one Nigeria. You will not enjoy that one Nigeria, but Ilẹ̀ Yorùbá máa fún ẹni that opportunity to challenge anybody, regardless of their status, regardless of who they are in Yoruba country, because that is the kind of system that I am enjoying presently in the UK. Mukiyami Toyin Dada Ajayi, Eshegonima. Let's read a little bit about the Zani. Kéèsì tá à ń sí lẹ́nu ẹ̀ máa pé Koiki wo ló ń sọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́nu lára iṣẹ́ tí bàbá Akintoye ìgbélé wa lọ́wọ́ nìyẹn a ti wà ní week 10 lẹ́ni that means pé every week Monday to Sunday à ń treat topic kan gbogbo tá à ń treat nísìnyí òun lélẹ̀ ẹ wá wo bó ṣe ń expand tá a bá ṣí phone line later ẹ̀yin náà ẹ pè wọlé ẹ wá fún mi láwọn cases tí mo rántí mọ́ ta ló pa Bọ́lá Ìgè ta ló pa Fúnṣọ́ Williams why is it that those cases have not been resolved who killed Dele Giwa? Who killed Mohbad? Afẹ́mẹ́ni tó pa Mohbad. Thank you so much, Bukky JC. I've never spoken to her. I don't know her, but she's doing great. Afẹ́mẹ́ni tó pa Mohbad. We need a judicial system tó lè penalize. I am not here to say ẹnìkan ló pa ẹnìkan kọ́ ló pa. I just want forensic to do the needful. Ṣé kò sí forensic ni à? Wọ́n ní Koiki ṣèbí Reno ní àwọn ọmọ Igbo lójó forensic kò ní da fún Reno. Olórí burúkú ni Reno. Ó ti jẹun tó pọ̀ nígbà Jonathan. Gbogbo tó ń ṣe nísìn ni pé bóyá kí Tinubu máa nìkan lọ wọ́ díẹ̀ because Tinubu náà ń tọwọ́ bọ̀ di gbogbo wọn pé ẹ gbé owó jáde òun náà nídìí owó òun náà fẹ́ jí owó díẹ̀. They are all criminals. Criminals. Criminal ni gbogbo wọn. So what we are treating right now, the topic is we shall create a trustworthy and respectable judiciary. If you do not have that in any country, forget it. That country is as dead as nothing. Now, Dezani is enjoying that judicial system here. Mori Dezani, when the court had a break, the Arise TV guy, don't ṣiṣẹ́ fún Arise ní London, but adúpẹ́ pé àwọn tó ní Koiki £100, £20, £10, only £1 wà. Ẹ má jẹ́ kó sú yín because ó wù mí ká máa lọ ṣe àwọn so many other things nínú UK náà owó ló máa cost olúwẹ̀ ìyẹn la ṣe rọra ń ṣe ta lè ṣe Ọ̀ṣun Òṣogbo nísìn tó ti tà báyìí nísìn àwọn ọmọ mi béèrè lánàá mo ní lẹni tó fọ́ndẹ̀ so lọ because there's no point putting people on the street to go and cover Koikimedia live tí àwọn ọmọ yẹn dẹ̀ máa complain pé ẹgbọ́n bàbá ẹ̀ fún alóòtẹ́ tó dáa àrùn jẹjẹ a máa gba mọ́tò so we are not going to Ọ̀ṣun Òṣogbo wọ́n tẹ̀ ti ta fọ́mọ Igbo already so ó ní tábà máa wá gan kí n kọ lẹ́tà sọ̀rọ̀ èmi rẹ̀ kọ lẹ́tà sọmọ Igbo I love the Biafra to go but I do not want Igbo to control Ọ̀ṣun Òṣogbo kò sí any reason for anybody tó ń ṣọmọ Yorùbá láti control kódà even if it's just the slightest things in Yorùbá land àwa la ní Ọ̀ṣun Òṣogbo kí lẹ gbé fọ́mọ Igbo fún kí lọmọ Igbo ṣe lè máa control Ọ̀ṣun Òṣogbo on our behalf. That is the kind of madness that we are dealing with. Igbo kìíní yẹn kò lè resolve àfi tá bá kúrò ní Nàìjíríà. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. Bàbá mi Umar T. Giwa ẹni ìgbà Tinubu lágbàlẹ̀ Yorùbá bẹ́ẹ̀ ló ṣe máa rí. Ẹ̀yin àfà ẹ máa Quran tèmi lélẹ̀ lẹ́rìn níbà. Quran tí mo gbé wá láti Nàìjíríà ní 24 years ago. English Quran ni èmi ò mọ Arabic. Mo sá nígbà tó ń kọ́ wa l'Arabic. Máa nàyàn lójoojúmọ́. Òun ló yẹ ká sá. But ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀sìn kan la gbé dání but kúnkúṣì wà níbẹ̀ ẹ máa pe kúnkúṣì tó wà níbẹ̀ kó rán padà sí àwọn tí wọ́n fẹ́ dalẹ̀ Yorùbá rú tí wọ́n fẹ́ yẹ ká gbalẹ̀ wa pé gbogbo ègún tó ń bẹ nínú Quran bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń sọ nínú Bible náà kó lọ máa bá wọn káàrin wọn kó dàrú kí a lè rí ọ̀nà lọ. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ti Dezani díẹ̀ ká tó tẹ̀síwájú lórí ti bàbá wa Olóyè Ìgbòho kí ló dé tó ṣe fẹ́ sanwó fún Ìgbòho kí ló dé tí Tinubu ò lo executive power pé kó release account Ìgbòho kí ló dé nítorí pé ó mọ̀ pé owó wà lọ́wọ́ Ìgbòho níbẹ̀ tí ó bá gbowó yẹn bóyá á fi wá jà fún Yorùbá nation tèbí wọ́n nígbà tí Ìgbòho rówó ná ló ṣe ń ṣe Yorùbá nation tá a bá sọ ẹkùn ẹ̀ tóun náà rówó ná á di oníbàárà ìyẹn làwọn èèyàn ṣe máa ń sọ pé wọ́n ń tọrọ fún Olóyè Ìgbòho olóyè òǹṣẹ́ tó ń tọrọ owó fún ó ní owó ara ẹ̀ tó fi operate kó tó di pé wọ́n ti àkáǹtẹ̀ so gbogbo pé wọ́n fún ní nǹkan yẹn it is voluntary lóòótọ́ àwọn kan take advantage ilé ayé láti bá yẹn orúkọ Ìgbòho dẹ̀ ti di superstar bàbá kan pè mí láti Italy láàárọ̀ ẹ̀ mo ní go into other discussion wọ́n nígbà táwọn lọ Ìbàdàn látẹ̀kọ̀ wọ́n náà sọ fún àwọn ọlọ́pàá pé ọ̀dọ̀ Ìgbòho làwọn lọ wọ́n ní wàláì Kóìkì wọ́n ní kò sọ ọlọ́pàá kan tó tún yí àwọn wò wọ́n ní láti Èkó táwọn sọ pé ọ̀dọ̀ Ìgbòho làwọn lọ wọ́n náà bá nílé níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn wọ́n ní ọ̀dọ̀ Ìgbòho làwọn sọ fáwọn ọlọ́pàá láti Lagos State wọ́n ní wọ̀dà mọ́tò yẹn dúró mọ́ gbogbo stop tán náà ti dá wọn dúró and you all know what I mean by that every places we see police sanwó fún wọn now the judiciary is not looking after the police ọlọ́pàá máa lọ máa ra pátá a máa ra fìlà a máa ra this that is the power and the name of Ìgbòho lẹ́ni àti ní gbogbo àgbáyé kò dẹ̀ ń ṣe criminal tán wá lágbàáyé kò ń ṣe Interpol wá Ìgbòho olórí burúkú Fúlàní ló ní kó fi orúkọ Ìgbòho sórí list tó fi dípò fẹ́ travel out of Benin Republic Benin wọ́n sọ pé federal government of Nigeria is requesting for you ó ní wọn ò ṣe kankan àwọn náà sure ó ní wọn ò ṣe ọ̀nà dá jẹ́ ká gbé yẹ̀wò náà ó dẹ̀ kọ́ ọ̀dẹ̀ mọ́ bó ṣe kúrò ní airport Ọlọ́run ló ṣe yẹn wọ́n àmọ́ bó ṣe kúrò nínú airport ẹni tó wà nínú ọ́fíìsì ó wá dẹni tán where is that man where olóyè wá pè mí Amẹ́ríkà tún lọ síbẹ̀ olóyè wá pè mí mo máa ń bẹ olóyè mo wà ní on my transit back to London máa sọ ilé torí pé kẹlẹ̀ bá mọ̀ pé Ọlọ́run ló ń dúró ti olóyè Ìgbòho ṣá ó wá pè mí ó ní coordinator kìíní ọmọ àti ọ ti mú màmá mọ́lẹ̀ mo ní ẹ̀yẹn fìyẹn sílẹ̀ ẹ̀yẹn máa lọ náà a máa yanjú màmá ṣe bá máa commit offence ẹ̀yin náà commit offence olóyè ní èèyàn lè bímọ fóun kóun fi sílẹ̀ sí airport ní tó mú padà lọ sínú airport nìyẹn òun ló fẹ́ sáré rìn padà lọ sí airport and kí ló dẹ̀ fà á torí pé wọ́n wọlé wọ́n fẹ́ pa ó dẹ̀ fẹ́ kúrò kó lọ gba medical treatment ṣé Buhari ò lọ gba medical treatment ṣé bàbá olórí burúkú bomb bastard Nigeria former oil minister Deizani Alison Madueke charged with bribery in Ukraine ó rò pé òun lè escape Nigeria àwa sọ fún pé ó sí ní Nigeria ó máa ṣe case ní bíbá next year kọ́lọ̀ fún gbogbo alẹ́mì gúngùn I will be there to witness whatever will be the outcome just as I was there when Ike Kerimadu was sentenced ó ń ṣẹ̀wọ̀n lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí yes Ike Kerimadu ó ń ṣẹ̀wọ̀n lọ́wọ́ báyìí bọ́bá òun kọ́lọ̀ bá gbogbo babaláwo ayé ó máa parí tenure kó tó release on house arrest and he might be probably out when there will be no more Nigeria. Oh, possible. Nobody knew. Well, I mean, speculation was there that Joe Biden was going, but we know Shagidi found Igbo. At the end of the day, anything can spark and Nigeria will dissolve. It's just a matter of when and how soon. But I'm educating. Why am I going to Nigeria? Only ever. Nínú Nigeria tó ń bẹ́lẹ̀ ni. Oh, tó bẹ́ẹ̀ kó gba legal aid nínú Nigeria. Mo kí Yẹmí Fátókí gbogbo Lagos Island. Bàbá mi Kẹ́hìndé Oseni Salami Mokin, you will never get a legal aid. Èmi mo sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ̀tẹ̀ ní legal aid ní Nàìjíríà ni. Wàá máa wá owó tó fẹ́ fi ṣẹjọ́, ìwọ ló tún máa padà kó sẹ́wọ̀n. Nàìjíríà ló máa lọ report the case. You will be the one that will put in the counter. It's because it's a lawless system and the judicial system is so corrupt. All the judges in Nigeria, they are bomb bastard. Only ní gbogbo wọn bí a díẹ̀ So what happened to Deizani? We know that the charger in the UK, and charger, the Nigerian former oil minister, Deizani Alison Madueke, a very powerful woman, has been charged with bribery offenses in the UK. Offenses. What we essileni? She's suspected of accepting financial rewards of awarding multi-million-dollar oil and gas contract. Koikimedia. Koiki Jaguda, àwọn tó gba millions of dollars, àwọn company, àwọn share, àwọn corn oil, àwọn ọmọ Ṣèyí Tinubu, kí lórúkọ yìí tó ń bá wọn organize Ṣèyí Tinubu oil, corn oil, Ṣédèjì Tinubu, all those criminals. Àwọn ọ̀tẹ̀ dọ́là wọ́n kó gbogbo, ìyẹn lọ́sẹ̀ ń squeeze Dangote nísìn, wọ́n ń fa lẹ́pọ̀n, wọ́n ní kí ló ń ṣe, ó lè wá, wọ́n fa lẹ́pọ̀n, ó náà wọ́n ṣe steal mọ́ báyìí. Kódà, ó possible gan ní sí pé Dangote refinery might be sold to the federal government because ọwọ́ ti ń dáwọ́rú àdúrà tí wá ti ń gbà mo ní gbogbo tó máa díjà sílẹ̀ and you know what is going to happen ṣẹ́rí oró tó máa wà nínú Dangote ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ lọ prepare people like mistake tabiola ṣe nìyẹn kò jẹ́ kó padà sí Nàìjíríà ó jẹ́ kó jàjà yẹn láti ta ni but Ọlọ́run ló mọ gbogbo ẹ̀ Dangote will fight back and I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Oró tó máa wà nírú irú Dangote yẹn ó máa ju ìtànrò lọ so bẹ́tà ká tètè parapọ̀ kíákíá mo kí àmì ẹ̀ka bọ̀ sórí ètò ká parapọ̀ kíákíá ká gbalẹ̀ Yorùbá ká lè bá Dangote sọ̀rọ̀ ó dà refinery ẹ̀ wà níbẹ̀ no problem wàá máa san tax fún gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì ni. Amazon has a big business in this country, they are paying tax. Every company most of the energy tá à ń lò nílùú France ló ní àwọn company France ló ní they are paying tax. Google san tax. So Dangote can still be in our country but he will pay tax. Ó máa san tax. Fẹ́yì tó máa ní ó máa bá wa ṣe títì kọ́ yọ kúrò nínú tax. No, we don't want that. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin grandma lẹ́ǹkan sí. Mo kí grandma lẹ́ǹkan sí náà. Mo gbúrò wọn ní last week. Kọ́lọ́mbà dúró dì wọ́n. Ìyẹn grandma tí ọmọ wọn kú ní Nàìjíríà nínú bomb blast. Kò ń ṣe kó kú bomb blast tí Ṣèyí Mákindé ò sọ in tó ṣẹlẹ̀ fún wa. So the Nigerian former oil minister, historically move forward quickly. Dezani Alison-Madueke has been charged with the bribery of friends. A key figure in the ex-president Goodluck Jonathan administration. She also served as the first female president of the oil exporter group called OPEC. Let's go out of Nigeria, set up a new country that will allow you to have a trustworthy, respectable judiciary. So I'm still wondering what you mean by no. For Yoruba nation, but you cannot get a. So the person has sort of Fulani no bomonisi. Answer judiciary system. Tell me how that is working for you as a Yoruba man or as a Nigerian in that shit. Koiki, stop calling you two. You were born in the zoo. Yeah, we were all born in the zoo because we didn't know that it was a zoo. Now that I know it's a zoo, why you don't know it's a zoo is what I don't understand. But you will not enjoy. And as Akintoye wrote, again quickly, let me read it out. In Nigeria, please can you point out any part of this and tell me if in Nigeria, the judiciary system, the judiciary is beset by three weaknesses. Weaknesses, don't any say weakness because only double SES. Weaknesses. What to meji. Gbogbo judicial system Nigeria. Ó dàbí ọmọ tí bàbá mọ́mì kí lórúkọ bàbá tẹ́ máa ń wò yẹn ọ̀rẹ́ yín Gbàgédèmọ̀. Ṣé rántí pé Gbàgédèmọ̀ nígbà tí ọmọ kan tó jábọ́ sínú odò tí Gbàgédèmọ̀ lọ síbẹ̀ Gbàgédèmọ̀ ní ṣé tí bá tẹsẹ̀ bọ́nú igi tí mo fẹ́ gbẹ́sẹ̀ lé ṣé mò ní jábọ́. That is the weakness of Nigeria. And what become what? Immediately the problem bá ti wà, fire brigade don't ma block ibẹ̀. You will not be able to go through that anymore because àwọn ọlọ́mọ̀ pé ní area yẹn omi bá ti lọ sí high level tó bá lọ síbẹ̀ tó rò pé o lè gbẹ́sẹ̀ lé igi kan igi tó yẹ pé pákó lásán ni tó bá tẹ̀jẹ́ pé àwọn Amẹ́ríkà gan tó yẹ pé tó bá di àwọn atẹ́gùn kan tó máa ń fẹ́ àwọn bridge wọ́n máa close ẹ̀ wọ́n ní no you cannot drive past. Máa kú síjọba lọ́rùn àfẹ́ anybody kú we need you to be alive because àfẹ́ gba tax lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ àdẹ̀fẹ́ make sure pé à ń represent ẹ̀ wọ́n náà represent country ọmọ ẹ̀ wọ́n ní ibi tó ti mọ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ ni bó ó ti gbàgbéra mo kí yàrá comfort Ológunjà lẹ́ǹkan sí. Just reasoning, I deliberately support Yoruba self-determination because we know our territory and the best position to form a republic of all the provinces and independent and pre-amalgamation. Emma comment Mama Kasita. So arákùnrin yẹn kọ́lọ̀ fọ̀run kẹ is a place tó mọ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ lóòótọ́ èmi náà ní sì ti bá díjú àwọn ibì kan wà tẹ́lẹ̀ pé mo lè débẹ̀ but tí nǹkan bá ṣẹlẹ̀ things can go wrong eventually ọmọ yẹn lọ sínú pákó yẹn ó wá nínú omi ó wá pákó tí omi tó ti gbé pákó lọ tó tẹ̀ ń ṣe proper bridge he died ọmọ kan wá náà wọnú omi ó fẹ́ rescue iṣẹ́ fire brigade nìyẹn but nígbà tí gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá kò sí fire brigade ti bá pé panápaná nísìn wọ́n wà ládùúgbò mi within 8 minutes wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ débí báyìí fire brigade ló jẹ́ kó sort the problem out mo kẹ́ chika all my Biafra brothers and sisters but eventually he died but n tí mo fẹ́ fàyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé weaknesses kí ló weak nínú Nàìjíríà everything is weak in Nigeria every goddamn thing from A to Z is weak in Nigeria and there's nothing you can do to solve it out because Tinubu fúnra rẹ̀ I told you is a weaker element Tinubu fúnra rẹ̀ yes Joshua slid from the wooden platform a 13 years old coming back from school ló yẹ kó ti sọ fún pé o tẹ̀lé lọ́lé nísìn because òjò ń rọ̀ àgbàrá ti sàn síta we keep you here and safety for you in the school but school ní kí gbogbo wọn máa lọ́lé because roof wọn lè jálù wọn lórí there is so many problems. And all these problems, they are not spiritual problems. They are man-made because Britain wanted us to suffer as Yoruba people. And that's a fact. Because they should not have joined us with anybody. They should have left us and deal with us as a country of our own. Rather, what ti rí pé bàbá wo lọ́wọ́ brain power ti pọ̀ jù. Gbogbo tí mo ń sọ lórí program lójoojúmọ́ ni British ń gbọ́. Wọ́n mọ̀ pé a ní gbà our generation yìí kò sí nǹkan tó lè fi mí ṣe, kò sí nǹkan tó lè fi wọ́ ṣe. But ẹ jẹ́ kí gbogbo wa parapọ̀ ká dúró lódindi ká sọ fún wọn pé a fẹ́ lọ àmújàdání is a non-violent. But tó bá wá náà wọn ò gbà a máa bọ́ sórí M1. Orí M1 yẹn la máa padà sí. And the end of that empire, tó ń tọ́jú yẹn, it will end. And we will defend not just ourselves, we will collaborate with others that we can collaborate with. Nothing mean that pé àwa ti Biafra jọ máa ṣe government. No. Every Biafra, lọ́jọ́ iwájú tó bá wà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá, they will respect us. And that is the reason why we are concerned with this new local government autonomy. Mo fẹ́ kó di 2 hours kí n tó gbẹnu sórí yẹn. So I gotta push quickly now. So let's come back here. Ibi tó bá rú ẹ lójú nínú nǹkan tí mo fẹ́ kà yìí bá mi kọ sínú comment section pé bàbá Akintoye no you lie there. Nigeria is not like that. Let me read it again one more time. We shall create a trustworthy and respectable judiciary. In Nigeria, the judiciary is beset by 3 weaknesses. First, magistrates and judges commonly take bribes. Quite ordinary citizens, me and you, cannot buy judgment. Fayose can buy judgment. Dino can buy judgment. Yaya Bello can buy judgment. Even Tinubu bought judgment. Many influential public persons are known to be able to get whatever judgment they want in the court because they have bought many judges across the country and are able to buy any judge at ease. They know themselves. You know them. If you are not too scared, put their name in the comment section. They cannot do anything to us. This is the time that so it's okay. We no go grieve for anybody in this 2024. Messed up country. Put us backwards for too long. Time has come that we would do what never needs to be done. And if you go to sorrow, Orí M1, I'm about Orí. But Kato Dorie, let me tell you that you will not have the money to buy any judges. If not, but those criminals, they know themselves. With one phone call, kódà bẹ́yàn bá pààyàn ní Nàìjíríà nísìn tó bá mọ́ra wọn wọ́n máa yọ ẹni yẹn kúrò. Kò ní dé prison, débi kó máa dé cell. Kódà kò ní dé police station. Is that the kind of system you want? Yami Comfort Olugani, there is no justice in Nigeria. Nigeria is a jungle. This is nothing to do with Fulani in the forest now. We're talking about you talk point out here. Okay, Obayan ṣe business. Kò ṣiṣẹ́. Ìtorí pé òun wá ní ọlá owó ó take advantage. Ó rọ́bẹ of your belongings. Ó rọ́bẹ of your pride. Wọ́n rọ́bù gbogbo wa, including myself. Ṣé ẹ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀? The buying and the selling of the country and are able to buy, the buying and the selling of judgment has been with Nigeria, with Nigerian courts, not the court in Southwest, Nile Yoruba. We're talking about the court in the Southeast. Anything for money. Oh, the North. I pity Yoruba people. The North are not even using the kind of court system we are using in the Southwest. I want low Sharia. Do you understand what that means? The whole northern part of Nigeria are operating Sharia. I want you to cut out. I want you to divide Nigeria already. But because Yoruba people, we are too intelligent. Mugun. We are Mumu people. The North are using Sharia. One sees alcohol, one destroy it. What then show why they Henry? Oh, you cannot do alcohol business, but they will use the tax from the Southwest alcohol to continue to fund them. And we know how their local government has been divided to many states. So one local government, your state, and that is what they are trying to do now. to use the local government to hold every one of us, especially Yoruba people, to fund their own lifestyle. You'll be surprised that very, very soon, every local government in Yoruba will be operated by the Igbos, will be operated by the Sabo people. And if the other way around as well, are they going to give us the same thing? Ṣé wọ́n máa allow kí Yorùbá kó lọ set up local government sí Southeast? Ṣé wọ́n máa allow kí Yorùbá kó lọ set up local government sílẹ̀ Haúsá? That is the new technique tí Tinubu fẹ́ gbé wọlé. With such a judicial tradition, no country can exist. No, mo ti lọ too far. The Nigerian court since inception of the court in the earliest years of this rule. Sherry Britain is a beautiful country. We love it the way we are. But they've done so much atrocity in the past. And that atrocity, Elédùmarè nìkan ló lè mọ̀ bóyá ó máa yọ́nú sí wọn. Ṣé rántí pé wọ́n náwọn lọ́ọ̀yà kan nígbà yẹn Ṣapara kínní kan ẹ̀rùn pé mi àwọn àkàwé púpọ̀. Ṣapara kínní Ṣapara Williams. I believe those are lawyers, is it? Ṣapara Williams. Christopher Sapara Williams. Chief Christopher Alexander Sapara Williams was the first indigenous Nigerian lawyer called to the English bar on the 7th of November 1879. There was nothing in Nigeria. Did you see the fraud? 18th century, kò sí nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ Nigeria. In addition to his legal practice, he came to play an influential role in the politics of Nigeria during the colonial era. He held the chieftaincy title of the Lodi of Ilesha. And they taught and destroyed our judicial system with the one Nigeria that they gave us. Only báwọn bá ṣe ń yanjú ọ̀rọ̀ oríṣiríṣi problem within their territories. Tí wàhálà bá ṣẹlẹ̀ ní province kan, ní domain kan, ó ní báwọn bá yẹn ṣe yanjú ẹ̀. Ó ní bó ṣe yanjú ẹ̀ so that wàá lè mú peace wá. Ó wà lára ọ̀rọ̀ tí Saheed Ire sọ. Ó ní àwọn olóṣèlú nísìn àwọn ló wá ń darí gbogbo ẹ̀, whereas ọba ló yẹ kó darí gbogbo ẹ̀. No justice for anybody. Mo kí bàbá mi Shitu Ọmọwùnmí. Sapara Williams was born far away around Sierra Leone, July 14. Inú oṣù igan ló bí. Tá recognize àwọn èèyàn wa. Kò tẹ̀ ṣé kò yẹ ká tẹ̀ rántí ẹ̀ nígbà tí ìjọ yẹn dé. But that because history has been taken away from us. July 14, 1855. He died a year after the violent amalgamation. Kó má tẹ̀ pọ̀ poison ẹ̀ wọ́n pàdánù ni. Bí àgbà dẹ̀ dé ni. But àgbà ò lè dé because the age he died was very young. He died at 59 years old. I don't know much about him, but should we dive a little bit and read about him? Kákọ̀ tó fi kọ́ra wa lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ díẹ̀. Come here and say we keep on Nigeria. Nigeria that doesn't have any respect for anybody when it comes to the judicial system. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ kà nípa Christopher Sapara Alexander Williams, the first indigenous. Wọ́n ṣe sọ pé the first Nigeria, what we call the first indigenous Nigerian, but kò sí nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ Nigerian, because Nigeria was not there when Sapara Williams was born. Do you understand that now? Ẹ jẹ́ ká tún lò bẹ̀yẹn bẹ́ẹ̀. Nigeria kò tí bí Nigeria when Sapara Williams was born. Nigeria was only born after he died a year in 1915. March 15 ló kú. So rí wọ́n ọmọ Nigeria, you want to die because of Nigeria. I will save Nigeria. We will defend the integrity of Nigeria against Yoruba people that are contesting to break away from Nigeria. That is why the Igbos are upset with us, that we are the one holding back, even though everybody has one agenda or the other. This is not the time for bigotry and fighting each other. This is the time to pull out of Nigeria and we go back as indigenous people. Akintoye tribes. I don't know the Igbo. They don't know me. Doesn't mean that our people have not intermarried. Do you know how many people have married Igbo people and even they break away from them? It will all do with immigration and the constitution of the law. It was called to the English bar. That means we have always had intelligent indigenous people. For him to have been called to the English bar on the 17th of November, 1879, in addition to his legal practice, he came back to play an influential role in the politics of Nigeria during the colonial era. He held the chieftaincy title of Olodifi of Ilesha. Chief Shakpara Williams was the elder brother of another very strong person called Oguntola Shakpara, who became the prominent physician. How did we get to where we had concept? Kí ló tẹ̀ ń ṣe about Yorùbá concept? Kí la fẹ́ máa sọ fún ìdẹ́mọ̀? Àmọ́ tán pé Yorùbá people. Ṣé Nigeria ti exist in that 18th century when all these people were there? Ẹ jẹ́ ká tún lọ wo Oguntola Odunbanku Shakpara was a Yoruba doctor originally from Sierra Leone who spent most of his career and life in Nigeria. He was best known for his campaign against smallpox. That is what Obasanjo ọmọ Igbo wèrè yẹn tó ṣe. Take away our history so that ní men tó ń pè ní pé bàbá kan wà tó ń pè ní Oguntola Odunbanku Shakpara tó ṣe campaign against smallpox. He was a doctor. Tó lo tìbílẹ̀ tó fi ń jà táwọn ìbò wá sọ pé no nígbà tìbílẹ̀ tẹ́yìn lò yẹn àwa máa lọ develop vaccine tiwa gbogbo vaccine yẹn náà lọ fún gbogbo anísìn ọlọ́run mọ̀ tó ń operate lára gbogbo àbáyé ẹ lọ gba COVID because COVID wà níta. Only God knows what was inside. Nígbà tá ti gba abẹ́rẹ́ tó ti já gbẹ́rẹ́ sí wa lọ́wọ́ ní kékeré tó ti fi vaccine sáwa lọ́wọ́ ó kàn ẹ̀ka lọ máa renew ẹ̀ lọ́dọ̀ babaláwo kan ní London tó ń ṣe tó máa compromise wa. Àbá wa lè lọ sí London à padà lọ sórí ilẹ̀ wa à lọ jágbẹ́rẹ́ mi because gbogbo kìíní ẹ̀ ó ní kàn máa update àti wá wà níbi tí wọ́n ti kó wa sí mugun. Mo kí the 60 angel. Àwa ń pariwo Yorùbá nation. Èèyàn kan máa ń sọ pé ká shut up. Yorùbá country wọlé ń pariwo. Do you see where we are right now? Wọ́n ní bàbá kan wà tó ń pè ní Ògúntọ́lá Odunbanku Shakpara was a Yoruba doctor. So that means that far back in the 18th century, àti ní doctor. Àwa wà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá lè ní nísìn. Sanwó-Olú gbogbo wọn ń sá lọ sí abroad wọ́n lọ ń gba treatment. Tinubu wà lè gba treatment nínú Nàìjíríà. Ó ń lọ sí France lọ gba treatment. When we should have developed that medical ground of all the Yoruba network. Nǹkan kékeré wá ń pa olúkálukú. I will not believe that this Christopher Shakpara was killed at 59. Bóyá ó ní kankan tó ń béèrè fún bí ẹwà tó ti kàwé tó ti di English bar tó ti rí pé àwọn nǹkan tẹ́ fẹ́ máa gbé jáde yìí ó máa affect wa lọ́jọ́ ọ̀la wọ́n ní ilé máa jẹ́ àdánwò fáwọn ẹ̀jẹ̀ ká pàdánù. They were killing many people. Wọ́n pa Lumumba. Àìmọ́ yàn tó pa Ọlọ́run ló ń fi iṣẹ́ ìṣòro àwa náà nísìn. If they have the means, they will kill somebody like me. Ọlọ́run ló ń fi iṣẹ́ ìṣọ́ wa àwọn onílẹ̀. Irú àwa náà ọba ti yanjú wa dànù. Àwa wá ń kígbe à ń jágbe ẹ wá rò pé a kàn ń pariwo lórí social media. Ẹ máa dúpẹ́ pàtàkì rí social media fi sọ̀rọ̀. Sórí NTA ni máa ti máa lọ sọ̀rọ̀. Àbórí Ṣeun Ọ̀kínbalóyè. Early years. Williams was born on the 14th of July, 1855. Where is Nigeria in 1855? Ọmọ Nigeria. Ọmọ Nigeria òdodo. Ṣètúrí ibi tó tún gbé wa lọ nísìn. That is the reason why lecture is important. Where is Nigeria in 1855? Because all I'm hearing now is this man was born in 1855. So are we in Nigeria in 1855? Mugu people. Mumu people. Where is Nigeria? So you want me to be talking about 1960 or the Agurosi destroyed regional government? What happened before 1855? Do we have Agurosi to come and destroy us then? Àbáwá là ń control ara wa. Ṣáwọn ọmọ Igbo ló ń control wa ní 1855. In 1855, ṣáwọn ọmọ Igbo ló ń control ẹ wa. Ṣáwọn ọmọ Hausa ló ń control ẹ wa. They play. Rather than us to listen, ká farabalẹ̀ ká gbọ́rọ̀. a máa lọ sọ̀rọ̀ àgúrò sí kan ìyẹn bó ṣe fún pé let's forget all those sections, let's take it back to where it all started, which is the fraudulent amalgamation. Ní 1855 kò tí ì sí nǹkan kan tó ń pè ní Nàìjíríà. There were people that were born as at that time and they were not Nigerians. Your great-great-grandfather was never in Nigeria, but idiot. O ti gbàgbé yẹn gbàtẹ́ kò tẹ̀ rántí kó ní bàbá kankan tó kú. Ẹlòmíràn ní history igi ìlú wọn, igi the family tree. Go back and start finding out ẹni tó bí bàbá ẹ̀ kọ́ ló máa fi mọ̀, ẹni tó bí bàbá tiẹ̀ kọ́ ló máa fi mọ̀, wàá padà sí ẹ̀yìn díẹ̀ mẹ́ta pé bàbá tó bí bàbá mi ṣé Nàìjíríà ni? Ìyẹn ló máa kọ́kọ́ fi mọ̀ pé are we truly Nigerians? Nigeria was just a word, Nigeri. It's a nigger area. It was something that was put together. Adepara síbi tí ó jẹ́ orísun wa ká lè ní a very reliable, trustworthy judicial system. Odija. But you want to remain in Nigeria and you are looking for justice for Mohbad. Àti rí justice for ẹni tó pa Funsho Williams. The justice for ẹni tó pa Funsho Williams, but does not mean that we should take down those that are working out like Bukky Jakes and the rest of them. And kudos to my beautiful sister for the work you're doing. I was watching you throughout yesterday in a repeated program that you did. And we need justice for Mohbad. After many talk about Mohbad, we need to find out justice. But how do we find out justice when we do not have a respectable and trustworthy judicial system? Everything is compromised. So how are you going to get that justice? So Williams was born in July 14, 1855. He was of Ijesha origin. Ijesha. But what BC Syria alone, just as many of us are giving birth to our children today, but Tabanika no one root and ọmọ mi nísìn. Wọ́n ní bọ́lá ti bí bàbá wọn. Ṣé Britain ni mi rí ẹ lọ bí mi sí ni? Tábàtẹ̀ bí mi sí bí ẹ̀. Wọ́n máa tún padà lọ́wọ́ ẹni tó jẹ́ bàbá tèmi náà. Ṣé mo jẹ́gẹ́ bí English? Ìyẹn ni Adéyínká grandson ṣe máa ń lọ the word English ló ń dá wàhálà sílẹ̀ lágbàáyé. Àwọn ló dá gbogbo wàhálà sùúrù tó wà síbi táwa. Òun máa ń lo English because ó fẹ́ kó yé yí pé kò ń ṣe ara Scottish, kò ń ṣe ara Irish, kò ń ṣe ara Wales. English gangan làwọn tó dá sùúrù sílẹ̀ Yorùbá. And that is why he kept saying we will deal with them. Tẹ́bá gbọ́ programming. Òun máa ń lo the word English. Àwa kàn ń kó gbogbo ẹ̀ papọ̀ ni. But tábá ní ká wò lóòótọ́, English gangan ni problem wa. Àwọn gangan ni. That's why the Scottish people wants to go, the Welsh people wants to go. Ìyẹn làwọn Irish ṣe bá wọn jà tó di woro sí woro for 30 years. Ẹni máa kú, ẹni máa yé ni. Ìgbà tó di 1997, there was a Good Friday Agreement. So you are there and sọ fún ẹ pé o lè ever ní a legal system tó máa support ẹ even for the smallest crime in that shit old country. Wàá máa sọ fún mi pé tá a bá gba Yorùbá country ta ló máa jẹ governor wa? Ṣé àwọn the same people ni? How are they going to be the same people when we have a tested and trusted constitution that will make sure that everybody will be accountable? Not the one that you are currently running today. Messed up country. So, àwọn bàbá kan tẹ́ wà, Ijesha are a sub-ethnicity of the Yorubas of West Africa. Ilesha is the largest town and historically, culturally capital of Ijesha people and is the home to the kingdom of the same name that ruled by an Oba locally styled as the Owa Obokun Adimula, the present ruling family. But táwọn value ara wa àwa máa lọ ṣe àwọn máa ṣe ọdún eégún ní London, but we are still under Nigeria à ń ṣe ọdún eégún ní London when we should be Yoruba people come on káwa ọmọ eléégún la jáde. All been told lies. Wọ́n ti parọ́ fún gbogbo wa. A wà lábẹ́ Nàìjíríà tó tàbá kọ́kọ́ fẹ́ ṣe kankan àkọ́kọ́ lo Nàìjíríà àkọ́kọ́ lo Yorùbá tí ó yẹ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀. We set up all different organizations. We will call it one name, then we will then still add Nigeria to it. A ní ká má ṣe yẹn mọ́ ká pè ní àwa ní ọmọ kìnnìkan of Yoruba country, so that will go in accordance to the way it's meant to be. No, àwọn kan wájú ọkọ̀ nísìn ẹ wá máa send owó sí school ẹ ń support àwọn old student association tó bá wá di ìgbà tó fẹ́ ṣe ojúde ọ̀dọ́ba ẹ wá lọ ra ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì ẹ máa ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì ẹ ṣé bí gbogbo Ìjẹ̀bú ṣe rí bí ṣé bó ṣe rí bí Ògùn ṣe tẹ́tí lọ́n ṣe ojúde ọba ṣé bí London ṣe rí ní àti Amẹ́ríkà ojú ó yẹ kójú ti gbogbo àwọn ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú gan sẹ́ ó yẹ kójú ti gbogbo wa tẹ̀ bá wá ṣe tán ní ẹ lọ síbẹ̀ nísìn kẹ́ lọ wo kí ni economic value lẹ́yìn ìgbà tó ti ṣe ojúde ọba tán nísìn. After the ojúde ọba, what is the economic value of that state? In that local government, in that area? One day event, and after that, ó tún dọ̀tún tó ń bọ̀, ẹ tún rationalist, ẹ tún prepare. àwa ní ká gba country so that ojúde ọba máa jẹ́ everyday economy for the Yoruba people in that axis. The same thing with goes in Ijesha, in Okiti, in every part. Àwa máa parọ́ fúnra wa, àwa lọ gáṣọ, ẹ̀yin diaspora, torí ẹ lówó láti fi wálé, àwọn tó bá wà nílé ẹ máa rán wọn níṣẹ́, tó bá wá dé wá drive yín, tó bá drive yín dáadáa. Ẹ̀yẹ́ ṣọ́tọ̀, ó ṣe kílẹ̀ tó lọ sínú galloping. Ṣáyìn ti gbàgbé pé kò ṣe títì for how many years? Àwa máa disrespect àwọn tó wà nílé torí pé àwa ti lọ síta. Ẹni tó bá dẹ̀ wà nínú ilé náà tó ní change díẹ̀, a máa dẹ́rù bà àwọn tó wà nílé. Ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ yẹ ká má ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀. Gbogbo ẹ̀yẹ ẹgbẹ́ tẹ̀ǹtẹ̀ ẹgbẹ́ Yorùbá ní abroad. Ẹ má ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀. Ẹ support Yorùbá nation. Kẹ́yẹ́ tanra yín. Stop living in denial. Ẹlòmíà dẹ̀ lọ́lé kò ní padà lóòótọ́ torí pé wọ́n máa fògùn sóúnjẹ fún yín ni. Torí àwọn tẹ́fẹ́ lọ bá wọ́n wò yín as special being. Wọ́n mọ̀ pé kan náà ni gbogbo wa. We are all the same. Ẹ má ṣògùn sí wa. Ìkan náà ni gbogbo wa tẹ́lẹ̀ máa ṣògùn. Ẹ ṣògùn sáwọn olóṣèlú olórí burúkú yẹn. Àwọn ni kẹ́ rán ògùn sí. Ẹyẹ rán ògùn sáwa. À ń struggle ní àlówó labroad. Dẹ́mọ ni gbogbo wa ń ṣe. On credit ni gbogbo mọ́tò tó ń gùn yẹn. Ilé wọn tó ń gbé credit ni. Wọ́n ń san mortgage ni every month. Ẹni tó bá bídà kó má san mortgage ẹ̀ wọ́n máa gbà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀. Ẹyẹ rán ògùn sí wa, àwọn olóṣèlú yẹn ni ká rán ògùn padà sí torí àwọn gangan ni àwọn ni dààmú fún gbogbo wa. Tá bá wá sílé ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ jókòó ká jọ mọ̀ tí máa fi nǹkan sínú ọtí fún mi. Ìyẹn láti sọ pé ká padà sí system tó máa ṣiṣẹ́ fún every one of us just like it was working for them during that 18th century. Mo fẹ́ sáré lọ sẹ́kọ̀ọ́, mo fẹ́ lọ ṣe party ẹ̀ wá gbé sórí Instagram. Let us support Yorùbá nation. Ẹ̀yẹ ẹgbẹ́ oríṣiríṣi tẹ́ wà lábroad. Ẹ jẹ́ ká support Yorùbá nation now. But ẹ fẹ́ máa lọ tẹ̀ sáwọn èèyàn lójú. Mo wà lórí live, mo dẹ̀ lè gbé call rẹ̀ nísìnyí, mo mọ̀ tó ń pè anyway. So bí a kẹ́ pè mí lẹ́yìn. Ẹ má bínú, mo wà lórí live. Why we live in denial? Kí là ń padà fúnra wa fún? We know that the system is not working, but because some of us are lucky to at least be able to, yes, irú èmi náà ní sí, ó lè work for me now. Bí ìtẹ̀ ṣe Yorùbá nation. Network, ìyàn lo network, but fẹ́ kíyàn kọ́kọ́ sọ pé òun fẹ́ lo network láti fi lọ legal system. We want the legal system to work for anybody, regardless of your status. Why are we living in denial? Gbogbo ilẹ̀ mọ̀ yẹn náà. Torí pé yìí ti ní access, ẹ ti ní button tẹ́lẹ̀ pé, ẹ ti ní àwọn tẹ́ máa sáré pé, tí ìtọ̀kan bá go wrong. Tọ́lọ́pàá bá dá yín dúró, ìbárí Rufai, tó ní I will call the government. Why do you need to call the government? Ẹ gbé lọ sí court, kó lọ yanjú ẹ̀ ní court. We are liars, Yoruba people. Irọ́ ti pọ̀jù fún gbogbo wa. Gbogbo wa mọ̀ pé Nigeria ò ṣiṣẹ́, but yet because we are still benefactor of Nigeria as well, one way or the other, intimidating each other. Ìtọ́ yẹ kí gbogbo wa sọ pé yes, kò bẹ ẹgbẹ́ tá à ń ṣe jẹ́ labroad, kò dẹ̀ gbẹ́gbẹ́ jẹ́ nílé, but ẹ lọ sí Ìjẹ̀bú padà nísìn, kẹ́ lọ bèrè pé kí ni economic value Ìjẹ̀bú Òde tí gbogbo yín ti lọ ṣe ojúde ọba tá à ń parọ́ fúnra wa. How many years lọ ti ṣe ojúde ọba? Ó mú transformation kankan wá sí gbogbo Ogun State. Why are we telling lies to ourselves? Irọ́ ti pọ̀jù. Liars, Yoruba people. Irọ́ ti pọ̀jù fún wa. We are all liars, including myself. Deceivers. Let us go back to the truth. Just like we are hearing now that Shakara Williams was born before Nigeria in 1914 fraudulent amalgamation. I will not be surprised he was killed because Kilo le pa at age 59. So that means Nigeria that they are saying that they know that people will die before they are 52. So maybe suffering 52. If Shakara Williams died in 1915 at the age of 59, who dare you say you will live up to 60? Go and ask Lope's family if she survived that. Kote bímọ sáyé tó fi lọ. Jùmọ̀kẹ́ Oyèlékè bímọ sáyé kó fi lọ. Bámiṣé Tolúwa tó rape lórí boss. Ṣé torí pé àfẹ́ máa sọ gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ tán? Wọ́n strip ọmọ yẹn naked. Wọ́n yọ gbogbo kọ́lá. Ní sórí rẹ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀jẹ̀ ní pé ká keep Nigeria. Ogun máa wọlé pààyàn ni. Bomb bastard. Idiot all over the place. Tó bá yẹ pé ọmọ tiẹ̀ lọ yọ gbogbo pátá rẹ̀ tó wá jù sójú títì. Inú ọ̀wá máa dùn pé kó keep Nigeria. Bàbá ẹ̀ wà láyé, ìyá ẹ̀ wà láyé. No justice for Ayanwola Bámiṣé. Nigeria did not support her. They did not give her anything. She was a fashion designer heading towards her sister's house. Sister tó lóyún tó máa bímọ. Bastard all over the place. I'm a deceive arawa. Come answer. Let me just leave it like that. Idiot all over the place. Let's continue. Shakpara Williams was called into the English bar on the 17th of November, 1879. Nothing known as Nigeria in 1879. So why are we trying to define Nigeria? In another 10 years, only my walayemo. Moni baba Adebanji pẹ̀lú Bob D àti Túndé Bákàrè tó sọ fún wa pé òun rí Buhari gbogbo tó ń rí nínú mọ́tò Buhari kò ní steering kò ní anything. Yet he told people to go and vote for Buhari. Bastard individuals. Àwọn olùṣolórí burúkú. Wọ́n wá lọ sọ́dọ̀ baba Adebanji. Ìyàwó mi wá send the Instagram yẹn mo wá rí lọ́dọ̀ Bob D alábòsí àgbàlagbà. Mo wá rí bàbá yẹn náà lórí chair. Mo wá wo bàbá yẹn pé ibi mo sọ fún yín dádì àgbà yín ló ti ń lọ báyìí nísìn at 90 kí ló tún kù fún yín. Tá bá gbẹ́ran sí lẹ́nu gan báyìí nísìn máa tún dànù ni. Àfi kọ́ bá yín kọ́ṣẹ́ ẹran yẹn kọ́ sọ́dọ̀ omi kọ́ lè fún yín jẹ. Ẹ support Yorùbá nation. Ẹ jáde ká sọ fún gbogbo wọn pé àṣẹ Nàìjíríà mọ́. Enough is enough. Bàbá yẹn wà lórí wheelchair nísìn bí a rí chair kan lójókòó sí. Èmi rí bàbá Adebanji. Mo bẹ̀ wọ́n títí mo ní dádì ẹ ṣe press conference. Kẹ́ bá agbóhùn síta dáadáa. Wọ́n ní no. Wọ́n ní bàbá Buhari làwọn bá ṣe. Kí ni kàn wá pẹ̀lú bàbá Buhari lẹ́jọ́ ṣe? Liars Yorùbá people all over the place. Ìgbà tẹ́ pé àmọ́ bí gbogbo wọn ṣe rí ilé tó gbé fún wọn ní Ìkòyí tán gbé. Gbogbo wọn ló ń gbádùn. A lọ sí ilé wọn gan ní gbogbo Ìjẹ̀bú Òde náà. Gbogbo ẹ̀rí jágbajàgba ní gbogbo títì ni. Ilé tí wọn nìkan ló fine. Olówó kan láàrin olòṣì mẹ́fà. Ìtẹ́fẹ́ náà ni ẹ̀yin diaspora. Ẹ̀yin olówó kan láàrin olòṣì mẹ́fà. So kọ́ lè máa tọrọ owó lọ́wọ́ yín tẹ́ bá ti délé. One bastard all over the place. Deceivers. Mbẹ́jà lọ mọ̀ mi díẹ̀. Àwọn sí mi láti ní kí a máa ṣe pé mo ká fi ń sílẹ̀. Bọ̀lẹ́ nǹkan ẹ nídìí pé. Ẹ máa gbẹ́lẹ̀ náà kí n lọ fi wọ́n mi mú. Ẹ fi save Nigeria. Ìyà ń já àwọn èèyàn wa back to back. Our people are suffering. Kò sí justice system fún wọn. Táwa bá ní justice system torí pé a ní network ní Nàìjíríà. Ṣé gbogbo èèyàn ló ní network yẹn?
Àṣé òṣìṣẹ́ olú ti sú wa. Ẹ̀kọ́ òkété fún mọ́. Ẹyẹ òkété ẹyẹ mọ́. Ilé gàrí là ń mú sá èmi àtàwọn abí mi àlè jẹ ráìsì mọ́. Ẹ̀wà náà ti wọ́n. Gàrí ọ̀gá ti di 1-2. Ó ti sú mi orílẹ̀-èdè ti sú. Báyìí kọ́ ni wọ́n bá tẹ́lẹ̀ gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n ní wàhálà yìí ẹ̀kọ́ ọ̀fẹ́ ni wọ́n ká o. Ẹ̀kọ́ Awólọ́wọ̀ wọn ká àlè rán mọ́ sùkúù mọ́ ayé yín ò dáa. Ó ti sú wa o. Wọ́n bá wá nǹkan sí i àti polítì. Ẹ rí i pé orí mi gan ti pa. Ó ti sú wa o. Ó ti sú wa o. Orílẹ̀-èdè wọn bá wá nǹkan ṣe sí o. Ráìsì ti di gàrí ti 1-2. Mo tún gbọ́ pé ráìsì ti di 80,000 àpò. Wọ́n bá wá nǹkan ṣe sí i. Tá a bá tún abẹ́rẹ́ epo bẹ́ẹ̀ epo 580. Sorry 680 700 là ń rà. Kí ló dé kí la ṣe? Àwa akórópè gbogbo ẹ̀ ní ọmọ gbóná lálẹ́ tá a mọ̀ fọmi wẹ́ẹ̀tì ẹ̀ pẹ́pẹ́ kan ọmọ lànà. Àní rí kankan. Epo náà ní ń gbà lọ. Owó kúbíìsì àmọ́ mi wò rí san báyìí. Ayé mi ò sá o.
Let's welcome back ourselves into the program. We're just about 2 hours into the program. Let's move it swiftly because we want to touch on the other section of the program, which is the local government and why we should all be concerned because Tinubu seems to be smart. He wants to use the local government to tie us back into Nigeria and we must all reject it. Moki Babami, Dr. Benjamin Otojometa, it's nice to see many of you on the program this afternoon. I know it's the lunchtime. And also, as many of you are returning back to work after a long weekend, and we say good afternoon and welcome. You're right. How are you? What are we eating, man? Because I've been in the freezer. Do spaghetti or something. Let's continue quickly so that we move swiftly. He was unmatched representation. Hello, Bishop. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí program.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. And now, ní justice system. Kò lè sí justice system in Nigeria. It's not because we are talking down on Nigeria, but because of the system and the constitution down low. Now, the constitution, there are two types of constitution. we have the written constitution, and we have all. Now, most of the other time, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ irú àwọn èèyàn wa ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ irú àwọn èèyàn wa tí ó lọ léèwé wọ́n kàn lọ léèwé ní èyí mọ iléèwé ò gba ọpọlọ wọn kọjá àwọn nǹkan tó kọ́ léèwé òye wọn. I don't know, maybe because of English language. And torí we found that a lot of people, they are half Yoruba, half English in that. And these are the dilemma of mixing up in Nigeria. Now, the written constitution is a constitution whereby all the documents and the rule of law that govern a state is written in one single book, is all compacted in one single book. So Temole forward where you combine. Okay, so this is the constitution of Nigeria. You're not with the written constitution. But when we say unwritten constitution doesn't mean it's not written down. It is a legal term. Èdè àwọn amòfin ni, written and unwritten. Èdè wọn ni èdè tó lò ni. So unwritten means all the legal documents that consist the rules that govern that land is not in one single book. Ìmí ò lè jẹ́ ìwé mẹ́wàá, ìmí ò lè Sweden use 16 books. Ìwé ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ 16. UK they are using 24. Ìwé ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ 24. So you cannot say this is the constitution. You can only say these are the books of the constitution. That is unwritten constitution. Now, when Keba wo àwọn ìlú tí wọ́n lo unwritten constitution yẹn, it is difficult for illegality or for anybody to manipulate justice nílùú wọn. It is difficult. You cannot manipulate the justice in an unwritten constitution system. Now, United States of America, tí Nigeria fẹ́ copy, United States of America is more or less like a confederation system, not a federal system. Because apart from US federal constitution tó jẹ́ written, tó jẹ́ pé ìwé kan, wọ́n ti fi provision sínú ẹ̀ wípé tó bá wà ní inú state kankan o, àwọn òfin state yẹn ó bind òun ló superior sí ti federal wọn. Unlike tó jẹ́ Nàìjíríà, unlike Nàìjíríà tó sọ wípé federal yẹn ló superior sí gbogbo state. So each state ní US ó ní constitution tiwọn. State tó bá fẹ́ gbé o máa bá ẹgbẹ́ ló fi state ibẹ̀ yẹn ni. Àfi tó bá fẹ́ lọ gbé Washington DC yẹn ọmọ federal ni ẹ. Ṣùgbọ́n bó fẹ́ lọ gbé other state. So wọ́n ti analyze it is clear. Now, but ẹ̀yin tẹ́ fẹ́ operate a system that is not as wide like America, the perfect way to defend justice is unwritten constitution, whereby òfin agriculture ó máa wà spelled out nínú ìwé kan ṣàngìlẹ̀tì sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ kan. Wọ́n lè pè ní the act of so year.
Okay.
Òfin economy gbogbo tó jọmọ́ economy o, trade o, banking o, gbogbo ẹ̀ ó máa wà nínú ìwé kan ṣàngìlẹ̀tì tó govern central bank ọ̀gbọ́n ìwé kan ọ̀tọ̀ ní separate book ọ̀tọ̀. Wọ́n lè pè ní the act of the central bank or the act of federal reserve of so year ẹgbẹ́ kan. Òfin tó jọmọ́ medicine ẹgbẹ́ kan, òfin tó jọmọ́ education, gbogbo anything education pátá we separate. So people Yoruba can have 24 or 26 acts that makes up our constitution. constitution ní mix ẹ̀ pọ̀ sínú ìwé kan ṣoṣo ó máa ní ìwé tiẹ̀ lọ́tọ̀. Now tó o bá ti lu òfin sẹ́tọ̀ ibi tó o ti lu òfin yẹn gangan ìwé tó ń ṣe àkóso òfin yẹn ló máa gbé jáde ló máa fi judge ẹ̀. The case will be very fast and straightforward. Ẹ wo ìgbà tí Alison Madueke tó wá sí UK. Ẹ rí pé straight níbẹ̀ Alison ti jẹ́wọ́ pé ó ń bẹ̀bẹ̀ níbẹ̀ ni. That is justice. O ò ní lè manipulate constitution yẹn nítorí òfin yẹn kò wà lump-sum altogether. It's not too cumbersome. It's straightforward níbẹ̀. O ò dẹ̀ lè jáde sí another nínú ìwé yẹn òfin tó ti là sílẹ̀ nínú ìwé yẹn ló ti máa accept ló dẹ̀ ti máa so you can only plead for the judge to tamper justice with mercy. So immediately wọ́n charge ẹ̀ kọ́ lè bail ẹ̀ ó sì máa parí case ẹ̀.
Let me help you there. The 63 hold on. The Alison Madueke, the 63-year-old who has been on bail since her arrest in London in 2015, has denied the corruption allegation. The asset worth millions of pounds sterling relating to the alleged offences have been frozen as part of the ongoing probe by the UK National Crime Agency (NCA). These charges are milestone in what has been a thorough, complex international investigation, according to Andy Kelly from the National Crime Agency International Corruption. She was charged for at least £100,000 in cash, shuffle-driven, flight on private jet, luxury on family day, use of multiple London properties, furniture renovation, work and staff and property, payment of private school fees, even a gift from the designer shop as Cartier Jewelry, Louis Vuitton. I was there. She wanted to pay £30,000 for the bill. The judge refused. She ended up paying £70,000 cash into the court account before she was allowed to go, on the condition also that she release her passport. She's a flight risk. She must be at home from 11 p.m. until 6 a.m. After 11 o'clock, she will be taken back to the prison. Yes.
Because all the investigation and the evidence is already completed is with the Ministry of Justice. And they know she talk about the orí títí ẹ pé ó yẹ kó máa plead ni ó rò pé Nàìjíríà ló ń wà ó plead guilty because níbí báyìí ohun tí wọ́n máa ń ṣe nìyẹn because the constitution here is a written constitution gbogbo òfin wọn yẹn wọ́n kó pọ̀ sínú ìwé kan náà so nígbà tó ti wà nínú ìwé kan náà yẹn wọ́n dẹ̀ ti round there up wípé there is no anything that is superior to anything that is written in this book. That thing must subject to what is written in that book. So tí wọ́n bá lọ sí section ibi tó ti lu òfin tó bá analyze the cases yẹn lórí yẹn olórí burúkú lọ́ọ̀yà tó gbé tó fẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́ fún á jáde kúrò ní section yẹn ó lè jẹ́ pé section agric ló ti lu òfin nísìn lọ́ọ̀yà ẹ lè lọ sí section medicine ó lè lọ sí section medicine tí ò papọ̀ má agric ó lè lọ sí section medicine kó lọ wá ọ̀rọ̀ kan tó fẹ́ jọ bí ọ̀rọ̀ tó tako nǹkan tó fẹ́ fi dín pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ yẹn á gbé yẹn kalẹ̀ ní court another lawyer lè dìde kó ní objection my lord ó fẹ́ sọ wípé nǹkan tó sọ yẹn ò tán mọ́ nǹkan tá a sọ tó bá ti fún àwọn tó ṣiṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú adájọ́ lówó àwọn ẹ̀ máa ní kẹ́ni ẹ̀ jókòó wọ́n ní objection overruled kẹ́ni ẹ̀ jókòó ó jẹ́ kó sọ nǹkan tó fẹ́ sọ tán. tó bá dẹ̀ ti sọ nǹkan tó fẹ́ sọ tán that is how they manipulate justice in Nigeria.
And as you were talking, there was a breaking news just coming as well. Motisari Lomujade Nisi, man that was accused of keeping a dead father in the freezer was denied a bail. So not even all offenses are bailable.
Bailable, yes. So ní Nigeria bọ́n ṣe ń pa ojú òfin dání yẹn some judge they know what they are doing but because of the statements and what they presented in court and they listened to even they know that is not appropriate wọ́n fi confuse the judge ni kò ní sí nǹkan tí adájọ́ máa ṣe than kó sún ẹjọ́ yẹn síwájú kí the other lawyer kó lọ tún wá kó lọ prepare láti tún fi tackle. So wọ́n wá sọ life àwọn èèyàn di game. Ẹ bá ti wá sí court ẹ máa play game. Ìwọ tó bá ti win ni. So kò sí justice. Ìwọ tó bá ti win ni. So ìyẹn náà á dẹ̀ máa kóòdì fún ẹ wípé the constitution say anything written in this play in the constitution that from other came or subject to what is written in this constitution is supreme. Constitution wo ló supreme tó jẹ́ pé ibi angle section tí ẹni ti lòfin another angle ló ti ń gbé ọ̀rọ̀ tako tó jọmọ́ ibi tó ti lòfin because the thing was written in the same one single book. So ìyẹn ló jẹ́ kí manipulation ó wà kí wọ́n lè yí òfin justice padà. There is no justice in Nigeria except if you have money. So tó bá ní money wà lè rìn wọ́n mọ the right thing wọ́n mọ òótọ́.
So that means Baba Akintoye was right when he said, and quote and unquote, quite ordinary citizens cannot buy judgment in the court in Nigeria, but many influential public persons are known to be able to get whatever judgment they want in the court because they have bought many judges across the country and they are able to buy judges at ease.
That's it, and that's the reason. Don't pity the justice. I want justice in Nigeria. They die mysterious death, so people don't pity them because ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn ẹjọ́ wọ́n ti gbọ́ ọmọ bá fortune. But when case is before them, they know if they want to do their job, they will do their job. But if they don't want to do the job, they won't do it. Yẹn dem ló pọ̀ jù. Àwọn máa fi constitution irọ́ yẹn, wọ́n máa fi ta game. And nínú constitution ọ̀rọ̀ tó fi ń ta game yẹn làkúnà tún máa wà ń bẹ̀ tán tó jẹ́ pé ẹ tún máa argue ẹ̀ wípé kò yẹ kó dájọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ náà nǹkan tí constitution yìí sọ lélẹ̀. But wọ́n ti wọ́n wá bí kan tí ò tán mọ́ nǹkan tó ń sọ yẹn nínú bẹ̀ náà wọ́n lọ kó ti bẹ̀ jáde. So ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ tí ò mọ òfin wọ́n kàn máa wò wípé wọ́n ń ṣiṣẹ́ lọ wọ́n yẹn ilé òfin sọ báyìí. So ìwọ tó pọ́n ló máa gbéra ẹ lọ sí abẹ́ kóòtù Nàìjíríà.
But is it possible that when you now have a country like we are asking for, that you can have a system that would have trustworthy and respectable judiciary, just as the Zami is enjoying right now in UK until our court case resume back next year? Muki our Abosede, Rachel, Modeki our Abosede, Rebecca, Gundari. Egbonsoke Bishop.
Thank you. Yes, because Yoruba is not going to use a written constitution. We are going to use unwritten constitution. Our books of the law shall be up to like 26. We are compiling them with Baba. There. That's why we told some of our people that is in charge that so constitution in America. We are telling them that they should not waste much of their efforts. What they are doing is good.
But that was a drafted constitution. But I thought that was a draft constitution as at the time.
Yes, but it's a draft constitution, so no group can post constitution on the Yoruba people. Yoruba people will decide on the constitution they want to do. But what they are doing is good. It will be extracted. Some good things there will be taken and will form a particular act.
Okay.
So
also,
whereas we have many other acts that will come to being, and they are all going to be governing our national system. So nobody should round us up into one.
All right, that's fine. The question I want to ask again is, we've never lacked when it comes to the legal side of Yoruba people. We always have Yoruba people that are well learned. And we're talking about somebody like, Christopher Shakbara, that he was even called to the English bar on the 17th of November, 1879. So in going into a country like we're asking for, we will not have issues having that kind of system. Is it because we are well ready for it? Or should we say we are not ready? Because some people are skeptical. No. End up see a respectable, trustworthy judicial system. We're not talking about Fulani in the forest now. We're talking about things that people should start thinking of. Because you should be able to go to the local court and they should be able to resolve the problem Call fún ẹni tó bá jàre tó jàre. Sometimes it might just be a community service. Sometimes ẹ̀wọ̀n ló máa wà bí kékeré máa dùn.
Now, okay, Koiki, the course of law is different from every other courses. Law, people studying law is different from any other courses. Now, Jesus only you cannot put the new wine inside the old bottle. Only it will burst. It will burst. Now, when we have Yoruba nation and we have a new constitutional structure and system, it is not the same Nigerian personality that will in the aspect of law that will come and replicate the administration. No, we may have some of them that will take part in it, but those people that will take part in it will be teachable, and they will all go through new orientation. Okay. Because it is not Nigerian system we are coming to practice. Because one thing about law is that if you practice law in UK, you can't come to Nigeria and practice law. Because the constitution of UK in which you are schooled and taught is different from the constitution of Nigeria. The law is very different from every other courses. Okay. If you practice medicine in Nigeria, you can go to UK and continue practicing medicine. Okay. If you practice mass communication in Nigeria, you can go to America and continue practicing mass communication. It's universal. But if you practice law in United States, you can't come to UK and practice law. No, because the course that you study is constitution. It has to do with the government judicial system. So, and the country you are now coming to is different from where you study. You can't practice it there. You have to enroll. You have to re-enroll into their own judicial system and try to and know how it works before you now start. So that's why in law they go to courses and renew courses and do a lot of courses. So if we have Yoruba nation and a new constitutional structure and judicial system set up, all these Yoruba Nigerian law, this thing that want to work in our administration, we go through a new orientation. They will be taught. And the one that is arrogant and proud, that feel that they will be brushed aside. It's not your family property. Yoruba is never your family property. Go and be controlling judiciary inside your house over your wife and your children. Okay, the so last you can't import anything on Yoruba people. You have to follow the constitution. You have to obey the constitution and follow the guidance. We saw that the government refused to abide by the laws. Especially the ongoing case between Igboho and the federal government, and Nnamdi Kanu and the federal government. But as I was reading towards the end of what Akintoye wrote, our Orile-Ede Yoruba is ambitiously conceived by Yoruba people as a country of great order and peace, with a judiciary that is implicitly respected by all, including the executive government. Our country will enact special laws for these purposes, including laws by which the executive government can be compelled to respect the court. Why is the current government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu disrespecting the court? Releasing Nnamdi Kanu, they refuse to. Pay Igboho, they refuse to. Unbundle all many other cases, they just refuse to. Why? Is it now personal fight with this individual as against the constitution that we know is even a fraudulent one that should have been used? Because the law right now, the constitution of Nigeria says they have the right to certain things, but it doesn't seem that President Tinubu wants to be ready to allow the court to operate without them making influence into the court system in Nigeria. Okay, thank you very much. Now, Nigeria is a confused state and a complex state because of the constitution. Now, when you know that Nigeria is a confused state and a complex state, when you are doing anything with Nigeria, you don't go there to joke. know what you want and go for it. If it's fire for fire, ready for them. You don't go there to joke. There is no law there. Nigeria is a lawless place. The reason is because that constitution in the section 2 of 1999 constitution, it stated there that the sovereignty lies in the state, not the citizen. It did not say the sovereignty lie in the citizen. That 1999 constitution said the sovereignty lie in the state. And who is the state? The state are the head of state, the governor, the president, whoever is the head of the institutions or parastatals. These are the states. So he's saying that the sovereignty lie in the state, not the citizen. So the constitution did not recognize the citizen as an ownership of Nigeria, but anybody that is the head of the parastatals. Those are the owner of Nigeria. And whatever they do, either they right or they are wrong, is law. That is why the president or whoever is, anybody can disobey the court and there is no verdict of court. Content of court against them. So that's why I say, why do you go to court in Nigeria? Except if you have money, you want to punish somebody. And if you know that somebody have money, he takes you to court, you want to punish you, better go and look for money to fight back. Don't try to look for any cause, go and look for money. Or whatever.
Wow.
So there's no, Nigeria is a lawless state. The constitution has made it so. We pay the sovereignty lie in the state, not the citizen. And whoever is the head of state can do whatever he likes. It becomes a law, either they are wrong or right.
Okay. Wow.
So that's it.
Wow. Thank you so much, Bishop, for the input. We appreciate you as always for adding that powerful input. Mukiwe intention, Wale Rugi Giant. It's been a while. Thank you so much. We will allow more calls. We might extend this program from 1 more hour. I will say because more it's really touched Lori, the local government. Muki Grandma Awoni, Edma Binusua. Sometimes, I could just be very, very, especially when, you look at how things are. Mofeka Parasori or Rosha Para Williams, but Mofe appreciate the beautiful women and the beautiful sisters because faithful you by anybody, right? Especially when you comment, we should let you know that we can see you. Lost straight into the program without interruption. Let me first appreciate Alan Conde, my brother. Nothing like judiciary in Nigeria. No law, no justice, no freedom for the citizens. If you disagree with him, help me in the comment section. Mokiyami, my beautiful sister, Buki Gold, thank you for joining us. Alec Conde went further to say, the most useless country with criminals, leaders I've ever seen. Go and ask that Babiodun. It was a credit card fraudster in America. Tinubu had some drug money put in his account. We also know that many of them, Ibori is still a criminal, and so many of them are crossed as well. Muki Bubayi, Grandma Tieti Darapomawa, Mukiba Yawa, Rebecca Ogundari, Abosede, Mudeki, my beautiful auntie as well, my mommy, Abosede Rachel as well. Ashade Ifeoluwa Muki, you sisters me, mo mọ̀ pé ó ṣì ń ṣọmọ lókù bẹ́ẹ̀ ni gbogbo yín tẹ́ wà ní Egypt ní Cairo nígbà tí ìyá tèmi lọ síbẹ̀ she was not living there wọ́n lọ ń rajà wọ́n padà wálé ni bó ṣe jẹ́ kẹ́yìn náà ṣe nìyẹn mo dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń ṣe tẹ́lẹ̀ ní gbogbo yín tẹ́ ń lọ Cairo yẹn ẹ lọ ń rajà wálé ni Nigeria situation ló jí pé ẹ wá end up láti máa gbé níbẹ̀ bí wọn bá dẹ̀ ti ń gbé níbì kan ìyẹn á máa ṣe jigijigi ọmọ á máa dé ìyẹn á máa lọ fọbọ́ ìyẹn á máa nulẹ̀ ìyẹn á máa ṣe tọ́jú ilé kò jẹ́ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀ olówó làwọn ọmọ Yorùbá ká lọ ṣòwò ká padà bọ̀ tá a bá wá ṣòwò yẹn dé kókó business fìyàn kó wá di pé ó di gbàsà ó gbowó sá lọ ó ti sọ ẹlòmíì di ní tí kò jẹ́ kó di. Many people have gone through a lot because ẹ lè gbé ẹnìyẹn lọ sí court ẹnìyẹn á tún fi owó á tún fi jail ẹ̀yìn ni. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. 23 countries ni mọ̀mísí tèmi ti lọ kó tó bí mi ní 1970 ni mọ̀mísí mi ti travel and she's still travelling ṣèbó ìlọ́ṣẹ̀dé láti Benin yìí nísìn. 23 countries around the world, including China. Wọ́n ná Cairo ṣeré ni. Wọ́n máa lọ ń rajà padà wálé ni. Italy wọ́n máa ń lọjà padà wálé ni. But ìdí tí gbogbo wa ṣe wá get stuck sọ́hun ni pé tá bá ní òkè ká tún padà wá sílé ká kúkú máa send ọjà yẹn ìyẹn làwọn ọmọ Ìgbò máa ń ṣe jù. But at the end of the day kí ló end up nísìn àwọn tẹ kọjá fún nílé pé kọ́ba yín máa tà á. Gbogbo yín ìyá mímọ tí mò ń sọ. Wọ́n ti sọ gbogbo yín di ntí ká má pera wa ní kàn mí. And it's because ní judicial system tó ń ṣiṣẹ́. kódà tó bá ní kọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ sáré ẹ̀gbọ́n sẹ̀ eventually ó máa lose out náà ni. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ̀ ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. So this should not happen. Thank you so much, Rugi Giant. So kò ń ṣe pé à ń bá gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì jà, à ń sọ fún gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì pé system tí Tinubu wà nínú ẹ̀gọ́ òun gan fúnra rẹ̀ kò lè operate. So mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ̀ wà ní Cairo. I understand it's a very painful thing ká wà nílùú kan kó máa tutọ́ sí wa lára. Ṣèbáwá tẹ̀ ṣe wà ní UK ó sì wà manageable, gbogbo àwọn ọ̀nà ọbẹ̀ yẹn kò wà manageable rárá, but wọ́n ní choice. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ̀ wà ní Libya, ẹ̀yin tẹ̀ wà ní Qatar, àwọn ìlú yẹn ó yẹ kíyàn lọ rajà or kó lọ explore or whatever kó tún padà. Ẹ wá fọkọ sílẹ̀, ẹ wá ní kọ́kọ́ yín máa dán ìyàwó mi nílé, ọkùnrin kẹrẹ́ ó yé wa. Bẹ́yìn bá tẹ̀lé manage, àwọn ọkùnrin ò lè manage, à ń lè manage. In tó fa Nàìjíríà ti fọ́ ilé ẹlòmíì, ẹ wá ní ká má sì kúrò ní ká bá dúró ní Nàìjíríà. Sometimes I just wonder, ó ti destroy homes. Nigeria has destroyed homes across the world tó jẹ́ àwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà. Because nígbà tí ìyàwó bá wà l'Amẹ́ríkà, àǹtí mi kan sọ fún mi pé ọkọ wọn ti padà sí UK for the last 10 years, wọn fún ní ìwé kó padà wọlé mọ́. So irú life wo nìyẹn? Ṣèbí mi ni mo sọ nísìn, èmi á lọ ṣe school run, ìyàwó mi á lọ sí kíní. I agree kò ń ṣe pé ẹni tó ti ní marriage tí kò work o, but èyí tó sì ń work, kíyàn kan wà labroad, kíyàn kan wà ní kíní. I mean, it could make sense. So it's a sad situation. Nigeria ó ti fún wa ní too much headache. For 64 years, a ti gbìyànjú bá a fẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú ẹ̀, kò work. Mo kí ya mi 60 angel. Nigeria has frustrated everyone. Ó dẹ̀ ṣe ń frustrate wa on a daily basis, ó ń frustrate wa. Wàá rẹ epo sí generator, a máa gbẹ àmọ́rú epo tó ń gbé wọlé. Dangote ló ń ké nísìn, but mo ń bọ̀ lọ́dọ̀ Dangote. Mo kí brother mi Akim Ayọ̀délé, mo kí bàbá mi Lukman Ọláìdé. Alan Condon in Nigeria, a country of hunger, crying. Nigeria, a country of crime. Kò ń ṣe ẹ̀yàn ọmọ yahoo yahoo là ń sọ, kò mí pé I endorse it. But we are talking about criminal politicians tó ń jí stack amount of money tí wọ́n dẹ̀ accounted fún wa. Politicians are evil to their citizens. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lálẹ́ mọ́ṣọ́, ẹ má dúró pé kẹ́ má máa ṣe meeting. Tẹ́ bá ṣe meeting ní anywhere nílẹ̀ Yorùbá, tọ́lọ́pàá bá disturb yín, ẹ sọ fún wa. Màá mọ̀ tá máa ṣe, olóyè àmọ́ tó máa sọ síta. Right wa ni ká máa ṣe meeting. Ṣe meeting pa fẹ́ overthrow government. À ń ṣe meeting pé à ń prepare mind wa pa fẹ́ exit in Nigeria. And it will happen in our lifetime. Britain are just the darkness kingdom. They came to us and changed our lifestyle and put their criminal to power. And that's exactly what is happening. Má padà sọ́dọ̀ Ṣàpárá Williams yẹn. Mo kí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi dáadáa Simon Adébísí. Gbogbo ẹni tẹ́ wà lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ mo kí ní Manchester. Ìyàwó Táíwò Kíkẹ́ Fásọmí mo kí yín. Jamo Abiodun mo kí yín lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. Let's continue into the program. Mo wá lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ̀ ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. Mr. Joshua, if you're not to the platform, má wá bá a sọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà ní bíbá. Nigeria has created havoc and it is time that we let it go. So let's go back. Mo fẹ́ padà sọ́dọ̀ Ṣàpárá Williams yẹn. Ó ní àwọn kankan tí mo ń kà níbẹ̀ díẹ̀ kò dẹ̀ yé mi ní. But a ti kà débi tí ó ti darapọ̀ mọ́ English law bar nǹkan kan. Now a ti mọ̀ pé wọ́n bí ní July 1985. Ẹ jẹ́ ká wá padà lọ sí that part of the political career. But ká tó débẹ̀, ìtagbọ́n ni pé Williams was born àti kàbẹ̀ yẹn. He was born, but eventually he joined the English bar in 1879. Returning from the United Kingdom, he began practicing law in Lagos Colony. Colony ní Lagos, ó dá dúró ni, kó tó di pé wọ́n join gbogbo ẹ̀ papọ̀. I seen TV, welcome to the program. Lagos was standing on its own, kó tó di pé wọ́n dá gbogbo ẹ̀ papọ̀. Tán fi ń pè ní 1914 amalgamation. On the 13th of January 1888, he had unmatched reputation as an advocate and had intimate knowledge of unwritten customary law. Ìyẹn ni Bishop ń ṣàlàyé fún wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan. Unwritten kò ń ṣe tó kọ sílẹ̀. Customary law. He enrolled in the Nigerian Bar Association. That means for him to have worked as a lawyer in Nigeria, ó padà lọ sí Nigerian Bar Association on January 30, 1888, and was the chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association from 1900 to 1915 to Fidipo Chalaisi at the age of 59. His political career. Although Williams was the first indigenous Nigerian to formally qualify as a lawyer, he was not the only one to practice the law. Due to the shortage of qualified lawyers until 1913, ó kù 1 year tí Lugard tó máa di gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà tó fi di Nàìjíríà lénìí. It was common for the non-lawyers with basic education and some knowledge of English law to be appointed to practice attorney. Political career. Williams was nominated to the Legislative Council, serving as the member from October 1901, kò tí sí Nigeria, until his death 13 years after, in 1915, a year after Nigeria was amalgamated by Lugard. In 1903, there was crisis over the payment of the toll that were collected from traders by the native rulers, although Europeans were exempted. Europeans were exempted, just like they do today. Our ring was our Lord, but won't she Lord wa? But kila fe see. We have to look at it as if they are not our Lord. So that is the reason why we will not wait for Britain to come and break Nigeria. When the right time comes, our leaders will decide what input and method of our breaking away from Nigeria. But Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kó dogun. Tó bá dẹ̀ dogun, àwọn ló máa kú kùn ṣàwà. Now, the Europeans were exempted. Why? I don't know. Maybe they saw them as exceptional or important people. What they call àwọn native, àwọn tó jẹ́ traders ló ń gbowó lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀, wọ́n gbà lọ́wọ́ àwọn Europeans. The same thing. Most of them are not paying tax. Púpọ̀ nínú wọn tán operate nínú Nigeria. His death is not even documented till now. Viking is just telling me that Shapara Williams' death is not documented. So ó ti lọ́wọ́ nínú? I don't know. Let's read further. The alternative was to replace the toll by a subsidy. Governor William McGregory, he was the lieutenant governor of the British New Guinea and also the governor of Lagos State Colony. Requested the view from Williams. Charles Joseph George was a successful Saro trader who was appointed a member of the Legislative Council of the Lagos Colony from 1886 onward. And also the Obadiah Johnson. Obadiah Johnson MD was a Saro who was both the second Nigerian to qualify as a medical doctor and the co-author with his brother, the Reverend Samuel Johnson, of the history of the Yorubas from the earliest time. As an indigenous opinion leader, all were in favor of retaining the toll to avoid upsetting the rulers. In 1903, Governor McGregory nominated Shapara Williams for a knighthood, but his recommendation was turned down. Why? It is something to investigate. But in 1904, Shapara Williams moved the present boundary between the colony and the protectorate of southern Nigeria and the protectorate of northern Nigeria. Be readjusted by bringing the southern portion into the southern Nigeria so that the entire tribes of the Yoruba-speaking people should be under one and the same administration. But somebody rejected and opposed it. Who was that person? The same name that we've talked about so many times, Sir Frederick Lugard. Who opposed it? Only no. Opposed this proposal on the grounds of administrative conveniences. Nigeria was just an administrative conveniences. It was an administrative and the economic for Britain as at that period. So, if like Shapara Williams, káwọn tó wà ní southwest, Kodawa, Lugard didn't know, Otima was too expensive and too costly because already the northern protectorate was losing money and Britain was not ready to fund it. And that's the reason why, okay, Lagos colony make a war, ẹ̀dá gbogbo wọn papọ̀, kẹ́pẹ́ wọn lórúkọ kan, Lugard wá ń ronú sórúkọ tó fẹ́ pè wọ́n, ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ronú títí nígbà tí jigijigi ẹ̀ dé láti England tó ń pè ní Flor, wọ́n ṣàìsùn mọ́jú ni ló bá jí pé orúkọ ló ń wá jẹ́ àkọ́kọ́ lọ ṣe jigijigi tí bá ṣe jigijigi máa fọ́ lórúkọ ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ gbọ́ mi ló wà pé wọ́n ní Nigeria ní Lugard ní Nigeria ẹgbẹ́ omi ni wọ́n lọ́wọ́ já wọn papọ̀ lọ́fíìfà ní Nàìjíríà àmọ́ Ìgbò rí tẹ́lẹ̀ wọ́n wà níbi tó wà wọ́n ṣayé wọn àwa náà ṣayé wa so ìjà tẹ́ ń bára yín jà lórí social media pẹ̀lú àwọn Ìgbò èyí tó lè stop ẹ̀ díẹ̀ oníkàgbà Yorùbá country. So to move swiftly because of the time. So Lugard Frederick had opposed this proposal on the grounds of administrative conveniences, and the eventual decision likely followed his beliefs. The principle applied was to group people who were at roughly the same political and social level into one province rather than trying to align the province with ethnic boundaries. Ethnic boundaries. Máa kó Hausa bọ̀, máa kó Igbo bọ̀, kí gbogbo àjọ wà lójú kan. Òun là ń sort out nísìn tí wọ́n ní ká má sort out. Òun là ń fẹ́ yanjú nísìn tó jókòó kápáká tó ní kò kún ẹ máa sọ̀rọ̀ lọ́kọ́ máa fi wá mu gúdà nínú bíá palọ̀. Gbogbo yín ló máa kàn àtẹ̀mọ́ àti wọ́. But some of us are 3,000 miles away. In 1905, Shakpara Williams, ó tún padà wá sí England. While there, he made several suggestions to the colonial office for changes to imperial policy. This included establishing a teachers training college in Lagos and having more continuity of policy by the governors of the colony. Shakpara Williams challenged the seditious offences. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo meaning seditious yẹn òyìnbó ńlá ni. Kí ló ń challenge wọn fún? Kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀? Let's look for the meaning of the word seditious. Seditious. Inciting or causing people to rebel against the authority. I'm sure reason tó ṣe máa pàdánù nìyẹn. Just like bó ṣe pa Fẹlá, tó pa Màmá Fẹlá, tó fẹ́ pa Ìgbòho náà lé lórí. Ṣèbí kò kàn ẹ́, tó bá ti pa sọ́pa náà nìyẹn. Tó bá pa ìwà aráyé gbé wàá rí judicial system, wàá máa gbádùn, wàá máa intimidate náà ni. So we can now see that kò ń ṣe lẹ́nìí làwọn yóò ti ń rebel against a system that is not working. According to what we are reading right now, gbogbo àná làjọ ń kà. Shakpara Williams wọ́n ló challenge kí ló dé tó ọba wa kọ meaning yẹn sílẹ̀ ju pé kọ́ pé ní seditious kí ló ń pè bẹ́ẹ̀ kí ni meaning the word seditious. Sarah Echo Delta Indigo Delta, let me take it. Sarah Echo Delta Indigo Tango Indigo Oscar Uniform Sarah òun ló ń pè ní seditious. Tá bá sọ pé seditious téèyàn bá ní seditious kí ló ń pè ní seditious. Máa incite or causing people to rebel. Koiki fẹ́ bá gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì jà, Koiki fẹ́ wá da Nàìjíríà rú no. À ń bèrè ẹ̀tọ́ wa ni, kò sẹ́ni tó ń bá gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì jà. Ìwọ ni kò yé, bọ̀ lórí program yìí, màá ṣàlàyé Nàìjíríà fún ẹ, inú àmàrún ẹ. Victor Williams was a fascinating blend of traditional and modern. He believed in the European concept and institution and felt that the integration was essential for the development of the colony. Thank you so much for that. A seditious intention is an intention to bring into hatred or contempt or to excited disaffection against the person of His Majesty. Má sọ̀rọ̀ síjọba níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn. And you can now see where we are today. And at the end of the day, yet he was also deeply rooted in his culture, exemplified by his sponsorship of the tradition of Egungun dance in 1896. So ẹ jẹ́ ká kàtọ̀dọ̀ tiẹ̀ tọ́ kárí tẹ̀síwájú. Offences Ordinance of 1909. Nigeria was not yet born, which suppressed press criticism. As you need press criticism in Nigeria, even Tinubu himself is using press. Unsubdue press freedom in Nigeria lady. He pointed out that freedom of the press is the great palladium of British liberty. Sedition is a thing incompatible with the character of the Yoruba people and has no place in their constitution. Hypersensitive officials may come tomorrow who will see sedition in every criticism and crime in every mass meeting. Despite his plea, the bill became law. Williams encouraged Abat Macaulay to convey in an inaugural meeting of the Lagos Auxiliary of the Anti-Slavery and Aborigine Protection Society on the 30th of August 1910, which gave Abat Macaulay a platform of producing popular opposition to the colonial practice. When the northern and the southern Nigeria were united in 1914, the new Legislative Council was headed by governor and consisted of 7 British officials. Did you hear that? When the 1914 amalgamation was united, let me read. When the northern and the southern Nigeria was united in 1914, they created a Legislative Council, which was headed by the governor, Oyibo, consisted of the 7 British officials, 2 British non-officials, and 2 Nigerians, one who was Shakpara Williams. He died on the 15th of March, 1915 at the age of 59. So that's a little bit of history of Shakpara Williams. Kí ló dé tí a ṣe fẹ́ mẹ́nu bà ọ̀rọ̀ the Mumbo, getting my email back up again. The reason why we're concerned that Tinubu is selling us away when it comes to the local government. I'm going to read this quickly. We will not complete this tonight or this afternoon, this morning, depending on the time you're watching me from, because Tabalo say Australia, I want to near world, China, I want to see Ijokeji. So the time is different around the world, and I'm going to be having my children back from school any moment from now. So I will read it, but I will come back, not today, maybe before the end of the week, and we will do more analysis of this particular topic. So let's see how we go. Implications of the local government and the autonomy and the abrogation of the State Independent Electoral Commission, SIEC. We are all aware of the effort to make the local government autonomous, at least as far as local government funds coming from the federal purse are concerned. We are told it is to curb corruption and ensure development at the grassroots. Ṣé lóòtítọ́ nìyẹn àbí wọ́n kàn fi lò yẹn as another gimmick to make sure that ní gbogbo sábó tígbà tí wọ́n bá gbé agbára fún local government ní sábó ọmọ Yorùbá ò ní lè contest níbẹ̀. Nílẹ̀ ibi táwọn Ìgbò wà lọ́dọ̀ tiwa à ní lè contest níbẹ̀, wọ́n máa dominate ibẹ̀ pa, kódà they will become our local government chairman. Wọ́n máa wá gbé èzè tí wọ́n wá, and bí àwọn máa wà láwọ̀ náà ní the other end nílẹ̀ Ìgbò nílẹ̀ Haúsá. You might ask yourself, ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ ló ṣe máa rí àbí lọ́dọ̀ tiwa lọ́dọ̀ ti máa take advantage? Ṣé kò ń ṣe pé Tinubu ó ti sign kankan pẹ̀lú Sultan of Sokoto? Let's go further. We are told it is to curb corruption and ensure development at the grassroots, because the state government, Seyi Makinde, Dapo Abiodun, Ayedatiwa, and the rest of them, and Lagos State, which Itoto receive the funds that are meant to be disbursed, usually don't. Tọ́ba ti gba owó local government, ṣe làwọn èèyàn máa ní kọ́ lọ, wọ́n máa lọ ń dọ̀bálẹ̀ fún Dapo Abiodun ni. Criminal fraudster. Fraudster ni, credit card fraudster ní in the 80s. Ó lè ní gbogbo wọn ń jà l'Amẹ́ríkà tẹ́lẹ̀, mo sọ fún àwọn ẹ̀gbọ́n yẹn ó lè ní wọn. But tọ́ba ti dé Nàìjíríà lọ di big man. They are criminals. Record ẹ̀ ò dára rárá l'Amẹ́ríkà. So wọ́n ní tọ́ba ti sanwó yẹn fún wọn, wọ́n ń jẹ́ kó dọ́dọ̀ local government. There's nothing wrong in that. But ṣé agenda tó fẹ́ gbé wá nísìn ṣé ó máa ju ọ̀rọ̀ owó lọ? Because already Yorùbá has 191 local government. What I want state only increase another local government. Wọ́n lè increase ẹ̀ látọ̀dọ̀ tí wọ́n ní federal. Then Mr. Toba táwọn tí ó wà ní Agége, àwọn mọ́là tó wà ń bẹ́ẹ̀ bá sọ pé àwọn náà fẹ́ ní local government tiwọn, wàá kàn yọ local government fáwọn Haúsá tó wà níbẹ̀ ni àwọn máa ṣayé tiwọn lọ lẹ́kọ̀ọ́. Mo sọ fún pé láìpẹ́ láì jìnnà ọlọ́mọ ẹ̀kọ́ di Lagos State governor mọ́ yín lọ́wọ́. There's also a strong move to abrogate State Independent Electoral Commission. Àwọn kò lórí burúkú àwọn governors wà tẹ́lẹ̀, because party kan ló máa ń win local government. Ẹ lọ sí Ìbàdàn nísìn àbọ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ State. Gbogbo àwọn tó win pátá wọ́n jẹ́ kí AAC win. So how do you challenge the local government in a meeting to make development? There must be other people. But gbogbo local government tó wà ní Ọ̀yọ́ State lẹ́nìí ní 33. PDP ló win gbogbo ẹ̀. The same thing ní Lagos State. Kò lè work bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. Is because wọ́n kì í ṣe election. Selection ló ń ṣe. But in tí government bá fẹ́ ṣe nísìnyí pé wọ́n fẹ́ kẹ́ padà sọ́dọ̀ federal. That also could be a danger. Nigeria ò lè work. State ló ń control local government election. Gbogbo ilẹ̀ mọ̀ yẹn. Máa wò mí bí orí rẹ̀ sí. Everybody ló mọ̀ yẹn. So wọ́n manipulate. Federal wá fẹ́ gbà padà. But kò ń ṣe federal ló fẹ́ gbà padà. Sultan of Sokoto intelligent tó ń dọ́dọ̀ tiwa ni pé Sultan of Sokoto sọ fún Tinubu pé a nídẹ̀ kó padà sọ́wọ́ federal. Torí pé wọ́n mọ̀ pé Tinubu ò ní pẹ́ máa lọ, ó máa ṣọdún mẹ́rin ni, kò ní ṣọdún mẹ́rin ni, we don't know. Tó bá wá lọ tán tí Shettima débẹ̀, Shettima wá sọ fún àwọn Haúsá pé ṣẹ́yìn náà nídìí local government ní Lagos State. Ẹ jẹ́ kó pín gbogbo Agége yẹn kó pín sọ́nà mẹ́ta, kẹ́ máa mú kan bẹ́ẹ̀, kẹ́ fún Yorùbá ní kan bẹ́ẹ̀. Máa sọ pé they play láìpẹ́ láì jìnà. Gbogbo sábò yín nílẹ̀ Yorùbá wọ́n máa ní local government tiwọn. Àwọn ọ̀dọ́ wọn máa fi èèyàn tiwọn síbẹ̀. Kódà ṣẹ́ẹ̀ṣì ń sọ pé ẹ̀ ń rí díẹ̀, mẹ́wàá sì ń bọ̀. Má jẹ́ kó tètè sáré pé kájọ gba Yorùbá nation. Ìyà tó máa jẹ gbogbo wa pẹ̀lú local government tí ẹ bá níyẹn òun ló ń bọ̀ lọ́nkàn yẹn. Ṣé gbogbo Abẹ́òkúta ẹni ti dominate yín tán ó kù díẹ̀. Now, the local government autonomy on the surface sound very noble, and the people serving, reflecting the mindset of the government concerned about the reducing corruption and encouraging development. Now, let us analyze this objective, which has gained popularity, and see if truly it should be supported. Ṣé ká support ni àbí ká lọ? There will be danger in the near future should we remain in Nigeria while they are trying to remove the power of this local government from the state to the federal. Ta ló dominate the federal in the first place? Mo ń bèrè lọ́wọ́ gbogbo wa. Dr. Aliu ti ṣe analysis yẹn fún wa rí. The federal today from the Senate and the House of Rep àwọn not ló pọ̀ ju gbogbo àwọn tó kù lọ. So they will be able to release bills to add and increase more local government that will not favor Yoruba people or the Igbo people, but that will favor their own against others. Firstly, the federal government has the sole responsibility. Mo fẹ́ ká gbọ́ bí báyìí dáadáa. Federal government ló ní agbára láti create local government. Local government ò ṣe create pẹ̀lú state government. Wọ́n lè create LCDA, but in tó ń ṣe ni pé LCDA tó ń create ní gbogbo àwọn state yẹn, inú owó local government ló fi function. Ó yẹ kó jẹ́ local government of its own ní àkàdé ẹ̀ máa ní understanding in a minute. The local government, the federal government has the sole responsibility to create the local government which has been more in favor of a particular part of the country. Everybody knows that. Gbogbo wa la mọ̀ pé the local government in Nigeria ó ń favour bìkan ju bìkan lọ. Ní north nísìn wọ́n ní numbers tó pọ̀ ju tiwa lọ. Why? Even though pé kò sí population kankan níbẹ̀. But Britain ló ti create a problem here at the beginning of Nigeria going towards the 1960 independence. Pé the census táwọn kà northerners pọ̀ ju àwọn tó kù lọ. And they are taking advantage of that. Sultan of Sokoto said the same thing about a month ago that àwọn làwọn produce the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria because they have the numbers, even though we know that is a fraud. And remember that Buhari wanted to push for the censor kó tó di pa pariwo tó fi sọ pé òun á jẹ́ kí Tinubu ṣe tí Tinubu bá dé. So state with more local government will have more representatives at the House of Reps, thereby influencing the voting on matters before it, and also received more funds from the federal government, whether they contribute to the revenue generation in the first place or not. Some of the states are useless as tissue paper, yet governor wà níbẹ̀, deputy governor wà níbẹ̀, commissioner wà níbẹ̀. Some of those states should never have been a state, but because of the fraudulent system of Nigeria, they created those states, and Yoruba people are now saying, no, I don't need more state. We don't need more state. We need to pull out of Nigeria, and we will then manage all our province to make sure that we shall create a trustworthy and respectable judicial system. We shall also make sure that we build an incorruptible civil service. The Nigerian civil service is another topic, but the next week. Let's go further. Today, they are formerly known as Sokoto State, which in total had 20 local governments in the parity with the Lagos State, now has more local government and receives more funding because it has been broken into 3 more states, namely Sokoto, Kebbi, and Zamfara State. What your state to kúrò, what your state méjì kúrò lára state kan. And now that means that Zamfara ní local government here, Kebbi ní local government here, Lagos still remain the same local government, and that means that àwọn gba more revenue ju Lagos State lọ. Lagos they don't generate owó. Let's go further. Today, they are formerly known as Sokoto State, which in total had 20 local governments in the parity with the Lagos State, now has more local government and receives more funding because it has been broken up into 3 more states, namely Sokoto State, Kebbi State, and Zamfara State, which totality of the local government is now 58. So when you look at the 3 states now, gbogbo local government tó jáde nínú state here is 58. Now, ẹ jẹ́ ká compare to Lagos State. When we go back to the Lagos State, the same also stand for Kano State, which is now Kano, Jigawa, with more local government. Today, Lagos State has 57 LCDA, which now shares the federal fund tó ń bọ̀ láti 20 local government tó wà nínú Lagos state. So what ti rẹwà jẹ́ àwọn ní state tó pọ̀ is because wọ́n yọ méjì kúrò lára Sokoto, wọ́n yọ lára Kano, wọ́n wá fún wọn ní more local government. Ẹ lọ síbẹ̀ àwọn tó gbé ní north sọ pé kódà is as dead as Sahara desert. No, kò sí kankan tó function. Wọ́n ní every month ọkọ̀ máa wá gba salary wọ́n tún padà lọ, kò sí kankan tó ń ṣe for anybody. Yet you want us to remain one Nigeria. I pity your head. Orí gbogbo wa máa pé tásìkò bá tó. Let's go further. Secondly, to be deemed an indigene of the Lagos state. Ṣé rántí, where are you from? Ẹ má bínú, if not, ẹ ká tún play video yẹn ni. Ẹ rántí, where are you from? I'm from Kòṣọ̀fẹ́ local government. Ibo lọ bí ẹ sí, kò ń ṣe Kòṣọ̀fẹ́ lọ bí ẹ sí now. Only I'm from Kaduna. Who now gave you the indigene certificate? Only kan. I'm sure you all remember that video. Ṣé mọ̀ pé ó ti ń lọ for a very long time like that. Kó tó di pa ṣírí yẹn tú. Now, what would happen is that by the time tó bá create more local government, ṣe rí ibi táwọn Hausa pọ̀ sí àti ibi táwọn Igbo náà pọ̀ sí, they will then start having to become an indigene of that state, and before you know, wọ́n máa gbá gbogbo wa jáde. Yìí tẹ́ ṣe sọ pé Lagos is not our own, Lagos is our own yẹn. The more tí eléyìí bá lọ tí Tinubu ń ṣe lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ yìí, the more the danger tabashi wà ní Nigeria. Secondly, to be deemed an indigene of a state, IEG, Lagos State, your local government must formally confirm your status based on the established guideline. Now, imagine táwọn Sabo, then they start creating, okay, our great solution. When they start creating more local government, that means that àwọn tó wà ní Sabo mama claim indigene of Lagos State. Àwọn ọmọ Igbo mama claim indigene of Lagos State. They will create more emir, àwọn náà máa create more eze, and there will be much more friction between us and them. Because inú Nigeria sì ni gbogbo wa wà. So when we pull out of Nigeria, Igbo kọ̀ọ̀kan lè wá claim ownership of Lagos, kò lè claim ownership of Ondo State. But when we are still in Nigeria and they are creating this mess, tí gbogbo wa dẹ̀ lajú kalẹ̀, bígbà tẹ́ pé àríran, torí pé wọ́n kó kẹ̀lẹ̀ bẹ̀ sí wa lójú. Everybody can see where Tinubu is taking us to. Eléyìí tútù ti yàtọ̀ náà rúgà ọ̀nà míì ni Tinubu tútù gbà. Ntí Sultan of Sokoto olórí burúkú tó ní kó máa ṣe nìyẹn. Ó ní kó allow full autonomy, but ntí gbogbo èèyàn rí ni pé owó máa padà kúrò lọ́wọ́ àwọn governor, àmọ́ olóṣì làwọn yẹn náà. But the fact remains is that they are going to create more local government, and àwọn local government kan wà tó yẹ pé àwọn tí wọn ló wà níbẹ̀ wá split ẹ̀sọ́nà méjì. Yorùbá máa mú kan ní imagine ọ̀rọ̀ Agége nísìn. Agége can be split to 5 local government. Àwọn Málà máa gba 3, àwọn máa gba 2, and they will be controlling that part, and there's nothing you can do because ó ti wà embedded in the fraudulent constitution. Máa sọ pé they play. Àdúgbò mi máa wà, wọ́n máa gba owó orí ẹ̀ kó tó gbàgbé kọjá. Wá ṣé MC Olómọ nìkan lẹ́ ń pariwo kó ń gbowó orí? Àwọn ibìkan máa wà tó máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń gba owó orí yín. Àwọn ọmọ Igbo ní jẹ́ kẹ́ ní ṣọ́ọ̀ náwọn àdúgbò kan torí ọmọ náwọn làwọn ń control local government yẹn. Let me give you an example. Àwọn tó wà ní UK mọ̀ tí mò ń sọ. Àwọn ibìkan wà ní sí ní outside London. Ìtò fa friction ogun bọ̀ ní Europe wà láìtàlá ìsúnmọ́bìlà ìlàzíláwà. Àwọn ibìkan wà ní sí táwọn Pakistan àti India wọ́n ti dominate gbogbo outside London. Gbogbo local government ló ti gbà lọ́wọ́ àwọn òyìnbó yẹn. Àwọn òyìnbó yẹn wọ́n wò pé kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ gangan, kí lè rò pé ń fàjà ní Ireland nísìn. Wọ́n sọ pé 10 years from now ẹni máa kú ní Europe yìí. Àwọn ò ní gbà ìwé tó bá fún ẹ àwọn máa burn ẹ ni. Máa sọ pé they play. Many people that are living in UK understand what I'm talking about. Most part in outside London is now dominated and controlled by a different set of people. Tó kìí ṣe òyìnbó mọ́, wọ́n ti lé gbogbo àwọn òyìnbó lọ. Gbogbo local government, àwọn tó ṣì wà ní within ọ̀nà side yìí tèmi wà yìí nìkan ló ṣì operate pé àwọn òyìnbó díẹ̀ díẹ̀ wà níbẹ̀. Wọ́n ti infiltrate gbogbo everywhere. Àwọn ọmọ Asian yẹn, àwọn yẹn tẹ̀ mọ́ bá ṣe ṣe politics, ṣe bómúgọ̀ làwa. Àwọn ti wọlé. And I'm not talking about the Yoruba political party tó ṣe gbé jáde. I'm not interested in that. Mo ń sọ pé for a very long time wọ́n ti infiltrate local government wọn kódà tó bá fẹ́ gbalé ní outside London tó bá jẹ́ pé àwọn èèyàn tí wọ́n ló wà níbẹ̀ wàá rí lẹ́gbà confam ni n tó sọ fẹ́mi nìyẹn. But mo mọ bó ṣe ń ṣe, but I know it is going on. Máa sọ pé ìrẹ́nu mú pa. So what is going to happen now is wọ́n fẹ́ fi local government wọ́n fẹ́ fi change the narrative. Ilẹ̀ Yorùbá máa wà lọ́wọ́ tó yẹ pé àwọn Igbo máa wá control more local government máa wà lọ́wọ́, àwọn Hausa máa control àtàwọn ẹ̀yà míì tá a tẹ̀ mọ̀ rárá. Ẹ jẹ́ ká púlà kúrò ní Nàìjíríà. Eléyìí ni mo tún ṣe ìgbédé fún yín o, máa sọ pé they play. That is the latest intelligence tó ṣe dọ́wọ́ mi. Let's go further. Torí àsìkò ọ̀nà pẹ́pẹ́ mi ò ní sè. Thirdly, the State Independent Electoral Commission a mọ̀ pé fraud lọ fi ṣe tẹ́lẹ̀. Bradford for instance gbogbo Bradford yẹn nísìn àwọn ọmọ mi ti gba ibẹ̀ pa gbogbo àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ yẹn wọ́n dúró pa síbẹ̀ wọ́n dẹ̀ ń kóra wọn síbẹ̀ lójoojúmọ́ wọ́n ń kóra wọn síbẹ̀ gbogbo àwọn tó ń gbé ní ìlú wọn gan wọ́n ní kó máa padà bọ̀ wọ́n ní kó máa bọ̀ kó pé ilé wà fún wọn àwọn òyìnbó gan sọ pé kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ gan báyìí nísìn ẹ wo tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Leeds ní last week we all saw what happened in Leeds àwọn ọmọ Romania àwọn lọ dá sùrùtù lẹ̀ ó bọ́ọ̀sì kan tọ́jú méjì ní bọ́ọ̀sì yẹn each of those bus cost £100,000 ni wọ́n fi parí bọ́ọ̀sì yẹn wọ́n ẹni tó ń jó àwọn ọmọ yẹn pọ̀ lójú àánú àwọn èèyàn lójú ìtawọ̀ ò lè ṣe ní ọ̀sán gangan ó dẹ̀ mú ṣáná ó dẹ̀ súnmọ́ bọ́ọ̀sì yẹn ó dẹ̀ ń ṣa gbogbo alárí fídíò yẹn and this is the reason why some are very skeptical pé kó má jẹ́ pé agenda àwọn Igbo ní kó wá da Lagos rú tẹ́ bá wá mọ̀ yẹn kí lè fẹ́ ká wà ní Nàìjíríà fún ẹ jẹ́ kí gbogbo àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá kájọ pull out kó wá bí ọmọ Igbo dá kó wá ṣe nonsense nílẹ̀ Yorùbá bí ọwọ́ bí èmi dá láti ṣe nonsense ní bíbá but nítorí pé irọ́ ti pọ̀jù fún yín èyí tó yẹ kí gbogbo àjọ pull out together ẹni ẹ fẹ́ ọmọ olódò ọdẹ ti débẹ̀ tán nísìnyí ọmọ kì í ṣèdí bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ká gbélẹ̀kì sọ́dọ̀ ẹlòmíì ẹ ti gbélẹ̀kì sọ́dọ̀ Tinubu báyìí nísìn ó ti wá lu ọ̀nà míì òun ò lórúkà mọ́ nígbà tó mọ̀ pé ariwo orúkà tá pa yẹn ó slow things down wọ́n wá sọ pé n tó tún lè ṣe ni pé o mọ̀ pé àwọn Yorùbá a fẹ́ control local government ìwọ náà fẹ́ di local government chairman but n tó ti gbàgbé ni pé more local government chairman máa wá ọmọ Igbo local government chairman máa wà láàrin yín Haúsá àtàwọn ẹ̀yà tó kù ẹjọ́ máa pàdé ní local government meeting ni bó ṣe máa rí nìyẹn má jẹ́ ká pull out full independent autonomous Yoruba country and we can control the narrative and we can determine our life without any other person. ìyẹn wàá mìíràn tó bá wá fẹ́ ẹ̀yà míì constitution ló máa determine kò ń ṣe gbogbo ẹni tó ní British passport nílùú yìí ló máa ṣiṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú MI5. That is the reason why your NI indicates something. èmi ò ní sọ ti tèmi fún yín but the last alphabet of my NI wọ́n ti link ẹ̀ mọ́ pàtàkì àwọn ọmọ mi so that táwọn mi bá di ọjọ́ iwájú tó bá sọ pé òun fẹ́ ṣe kankan wàá ní bàbá illegal immigrant ni àwa la fún ní ìwé tó fi gbé nílùú yìí tí wọ́n fi ní British passport máa sọ pé dey play àwọn ọmọ yóò ní ríṣẹ́ gidi lọ́jọ́ iwájú nílùú yìí ẹni mo kọ sílẹ̀ kò ń ṣe pé problem ń bọ̀ ní Europe ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ tún tilé wa náà ṣe ká lè tẹ̀síwájú ẹ máa sọ pé dey play ẹ̀yin tẹ́ gbé British passport dání àwọn ọmọ tèmi náà ní má fi ṣàkọ sí mi but we are talking about the future of Yorùbá nation òun là ń sọ̀rọ̀ problem ń bọ̀ wọ́n ti link gbogbo wa òyìnbó ti link ẹ̀ bí ṣe ń bímọ wọ́n link ẹ̀ mọ́ NI ni tóra tó bá di 30 years from now tọ́mọ ẹ̀ bá náà fẹ́ ṣe nǹkan kan especially some very very sensitive area wọ́n kàn máa sọ fún pé we are sorry we can't give you that job bó wọ́n ní sọ reason ìlú ìlú máa sọ pé o apply fún iṣẹ́ wọ́n ní sọ reason tó ń ṣe gbà síbi iṣẹ́ but tó bá jẹ́ pé àwọn iṣẹ́ basic táwọn ń ṣe máa fọbọ́ máa nulẹ̀ gbogbo máa gba COS kó máa bọ̀ ní London gbogbo wa la máa jẹ breakfast àná nísìn ìyá mi yẹn máa wo program yìí £3,000 náà wá fẹ́ni tó fẹ́ rí ní ìwé ẹ̀ nísìn £3,000 kò wọ́n ní ìyàwó àtọmọ gan nílé kò tẹ̀ dá wọn lóhùn because ó kọ́kọ́ fẹ́ survive how long are we going to do that? What we need now is to challenge our political status pé ẹ jẹ́ kájọ jókòó ká sọ ọ̀rọ̀ ìrìn àjò Yorùbá nation kájọ pull out àwọn fẹ́ máa gbádùn kí ọba sá máa wọ London kó máa jáde kó máa wọlé àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ ẹ lọ gbogbo agége nísìn smelly wọ́n fẹ́ tó pin mọ́ yín lọ́wọ́. Let's move swiftly because of the time kọ̀ọ̀kan yẹn máa wọlé anytime from now. Thirdly, the State Independent Electoral Commission is responsible for the local government election. Wọ́n máa gbà lọ́wọ́ state wọ́n máa gbé lọ fún federal tó bá yẹ ti gbé lọ fún federal that means pé federal ló máa determine the election and we know what that means selection not election. So tó bá tẹ vote pé ẹ vote against wọn ní sábó wọ́n máa sọ pé ọmọ ẹ gbélé wọn lọ́wọ́. Therefore, before you can be electable in the state, your status as an indigene must be confirmed by your local government. So local government tell mama confirm pé I am an indigene. And you know what that means? There will be much more room for the criminals. Àwọn ẹlòmíì akọ máa wá ra ilé ìtọ́tẹ̀ ra Nigerian passport ṣeré. Wọ́n máa ra ṣé bí gbogbo wa la rí now? Ṣé kí n play video yẹn fún ẹni kò sí time mọ́? We saw it. Where did you get this certificate from? Wọ́n ní where are you from? Can you speak Yoruba? I don't speak Yoruba. You hear Yoruba, I no hear Yoruba. Ibo ló ti wá rí ibo ló ti rí certificate yìí. Ta ló gbélé ẹ lọ́wọ́? Certificate of indigene. Ibo ló ti that. So nísìn ìgbà tí intelligent dọ́dọ̀ mi, mo ṣe wá link ẹ̀ padà sí that video. Nígbà tí intelligent dọ́wọ́ mi, mo ṣe wá rí pé okay. So when we saw that video, they were cooking something. and before we know one not even signing brother ti accept it àwa wá inú àwa ń dùn àwa kò rò pé giving back to the local government is the best interest for everybody but ó tún wá ní àwọn nǹkan kan lábẹ́lẹ̀ ní tó wà lábẹ́lẹ̀ yẹn òun ni mo ṣe analysis ẹ̀ nísìnyí. There's nothing wrong in having a full autonomy local government, but the agenda is far beyond that. Òun ni mo sọ fún yín bí ẹ̀gbọ́n gbogbo Yorùbá tí mo sọ látẹ̀kan. The agenda of that court, Supreme Court tó jáde yẹn, Sultan of Sokoto is still part of the bribe. Wọ́n ní gbogbo àwọn judge yẹn pátá ni wọ́n gba ègúnjẹ. Gbogbo ìyẹn mo ṣe sọ pé Tinubu wọ́n ti rẹ pọ̀n ẹ̀ kò sí nǹkan kan tó lè ṣe àdẹ̀wà mọ̀ nǹkan tóun náà negotiate fún òun ni mo ti mọ̀ but for now that result tó jáde pẹ̀lú Supreme Court yẹn is not in the interest of Yoruba people. Mo ní sọ jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ so ní parí bíbá but máa padà wá ṣe analysis ẹ̀ bí alọ́la. What impact of the local government autonomy? What then can happen once a local government autonomy is achieved, coupled with abrogation of the State Independent Electoral Commission, taking into the consideration the foregoing point? Immediately the Act for Autonomy is assented to the federalism. As we know, it ceases to exist as Nigeria then becomes in effect a unitary state proper. We will have 774 local government and 36 state government on the same level. We will end up with 36 governors and 774 local government chairmen going to Abuja to receive funding. There will be like countries in Britain, the state governors become irrelevant in their state. Remember, he who pays the piper dictates the tune. The more tó bá ti gbàgbára kúrò lọ́wọ́ state fún local government tó padà sí federal, Tinubu will not be there forever. Tinubu will be there for a very, very limited time. And that means whoever becomes the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria will favor more for local government to come through, and eventually they will then give themselves more indigene in Lagos State. So, like you know, Akomagbo, Sabo local government, ta ló wà níbẹ̀? Wọ́n ní Yusuf Malam, ọmọ ìlú wo ni? Ọmọ Yorùbá náà ni. Bọ́ kò ń ṣe Yorùbá, Yusuf kò ń ṣe Yorùbá nìyẹn. Wọ́n á nítorí pé kí ni local government ẹ̀ confirm pé ọmọ Yorùbá ni. So, and the exceptionist person or group, the Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, etc., can easily manipulate this situation to his advantage, with the following narrative becoming a very distinct possibility. 3 hours into the program is winding down in a minute. Since the federal government has sole authority to create local government, imagine a scenario where they decide to create local government in Lagos. If the Hausas in Obalende and Agege start agitation for whatever reasons, or the guidelines from the local government lead to a situation where Agege is broken into 2 local government, with the Hausa Fulani having the majority in the local government where they fall into, it then becomes clear that a northerner will always win the local government elections. Ibi tí ìbò bá pọ̀ sí níbi tó bá ti ń ṣe election, we saw that played out in Lagos State at that last election. Now imagine what they are bringing in again. Mo sọ pé Tinubu sold us all out. We must say enough is enough. Mo kí you innovate. Mo kí bàbá wa Ebenezer. It becomes clear that the northerners will always win the local government election there, particularly with the planned abrogation of the State Independent Electoral Commission, which leads into the federal government that will run INEC with the responsibility for the local government. It is a small step then for the Hausas in Agege or the Igbos in Festa to become indigenes of Lagos and even contest for the governorship of Lagos State and the rest of the state. Before we know it, by law can be passed whereby the new local government becomes Sharia compliant. So tó bá fẹ́ lọ sí àdúgbò kan, ó kọ́kọ́ gbọ́dọ̀ búra bí Mùsùlùmí. That was sent out last week. Mo posted. Wọ́n ní tó bá fẹ́ cross títì kan, tó bá fẹ́ gba abẹ́ bridge yẹn, tó bá ní scarf, tó bá bí bá bẹ́ẹ̀ dá, gbàbẹ̀ kọjá, tó òwe láwàní sórí, wàá bẹ́ orí ẹni. Everybody saw the post. Man, no, tó bá rí problem tí ẹni yẹn kò ṣe problem tèmi. That is already happening in Lagos State. wọ́n ní àwọn ibi táwọn máa là pọ̀ sí ibi kan because àwọn ò fẹ́ rí obìnrin tó gbé ọyàn síta báwa ṣe ń rí ọyàn lọ ẹ má bínú ẹ̀yin ìyá mi because sọ́mọ́láwà àwọn ọmọ wa àwọn sisters wa they dress very nice we love the way they dress bó ṣe wà nìyẹn but níbì kan ní Lagos state wọ́n ní tó bá fẹ́ gbàbẹ̀ yẹn kọjá tó bá bí ẹ̀dá má wé scarf sórí tó bá jọ́bìnrin má wé scarf sórí ìyá yẹn náà ń lọ ra scarf kóhun tó lè kọjá lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ lédè tí ń ṣẹlẹ̀ abáṣọ imagine when they have their local government o wá fẹ́ sáré lọ sáàárín local government yẹn o fẹ́ connect to the other side wá sọ fún ẹ pé kó tó gbàgbẹ́ kọjá sharia là ń ṣe ní bíbà láàrin bíbà sharia ni tó bá dẹ̀ sọ pé no kò possible Lagos state lélẹ́yìí wá sọ fún ẹ pé local government àwọn ó accept bẹ́ẹ̀. Indigenous of Lagos and even the contest for governorship. Before we know it, bylaw can be passed whereby the new local government becomes Sharia compliant. Wọ́n ní ẹ lè mutí, ẹ lè ní club, ẹ lè ní kankan. Gbogbo fàájì tá à ń ṣe ní Lagos state, Londo state, Logun state, Lọ́yọ̀ state. Kódà wàá náà ń disturb àwọn torí wọ́n fẹ́ pè wọ́n. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? All this can stop, but not when we are still in Nigeria. Then they have their emir or eze in the local government. They will now be able to receive funds directly to fund their activities in our own state. And this is going to also applicable to all the states. But I am just talking about our own state now. Whether they will now allow us to operate like that in the southeast or in the north or in the middle belt, I don't know. The local government now becomes a staging post for their next moves right within our state. This can and will happen in all the southern states, never in the north, as they will kill and chase out strangers. Àwọn ò ní gbà ní north. Gbogbo tá bá gbà fáwọn ní lọ́dọ̀ tiwa, wọn ò ní gbà lọ́dọ̀ tiwọn lọ́hùn. It will effectively put an end to agitation for restructuring, as getting consensus will become nigh impossible, as our local government chairman funded by the federal money will go the way the center goes. The most dangerous impact of this very possible scenario is that where the federal government desires an objective which the state governors reject due to the religious, tribal, zonal, or on the principle of federalism, the federal government can easily call on the local government chairman in the state and get them to assent to the federal proposal, since he who pays the piper dictates the tune. The loyalty of the local government chairman will no longer be in the hands of the state. It will be in the center, not to your traditional rulers and not to your state governors. Federalism and the ability to protect your traditional institution, land, tribal, nation, religion, or right to indigenship in your state will be negatively affected by the seemingly populist move to create local government autonomy. Where we still incline, despite the above, to have local autonomy, then the following must be insisted upon the state. Federal government must relinquish responsibility for the local government, state government creation. State independent electoral commission must remain. A state must be responsible for the local government. We're not saying that it is perfect, but what I am saying is all these, if we continue, whether it is with the current system of where the state is controlling it or it goes back to federal, if we still remain in Nigeria, we are all in danger, and that danger can face us, but we are avoiding it as if we cannot see it. Gbogbo àlàárín danger yẹn tó ń bọ̀ in different ways, in ruga, in waterways, in local government. What next is coming, I don't know. This is how far I can take you this afternoon. My name is OLAYOMI KOIKI. I hope you've enjoyed something out of the program, and I hope you've learned one or two things like myself. Muki Mr. Olawale, Muki Olori Abiwa náà, Yawa Remilekun Adeleye Muki, Kenzi Abiola Fápọ̀húndà, Muki ẹ̀gbọ́n mi náà Fápọ̀húndà, Muki gbogbo ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ wa pé Yorùbá nation òun ló lè dá gbogbo ibi tí à ń kà yìí tó fi jálu ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Kọbẹ̀lẹ́dùmarè kó jọ nínú ọlẹ́ nínú àánú ẹ̀ kó má jẹ́ kí danger àwọn emir àbáwọn eze kó wá gbalẹ̀ mọ́ wa lọ́wọ́. Ẹ jẹ́ ká dìde ọmọ Olùbákà mú kí yín, mo kí ẹ̀yin tí ẹ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa lọ́tùn lósì, and I say thank you so much for being part of the program. Mo rí comment kan mo fẹ́ kọ́kọ́ kà kí n mọ. So, Mukim Baba Kendi, Triple DRS, thank you so much. It's been a 3 hours, 8 minutes lecture. Let's take it like that so that come out to see more than that. Lágbára Ọlọ́run, we will continue to analyze more about we shall create a trustworthy and respectable judiciary. Hopefully by the time I come back, we will be able to discuss, not today anymore, we will discuss more about the judicial system, how it has affected you and me, even though as a citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria outside the country, the law should still help us if we run into any problem. So that's how I can go. Grandma Felicia Ajagbemokinyi. If I haven't mentioned your name, please do not get angry. Shout out to everyone on the Twitter space. And those of you on our Mixed LR, which has already ended, thank you so much. My name is OLAYOMI KOIKI, popularly known as Koikimedia, bringing the work closer to your doorstep. Our Comfort Ologunja so too much pain in Nigeria, let's go now. Nobody's calling for war. All we are saying is that there can still be a solution to all this problem if they really want to have the problem resolved. Thank you so much. Yoruba Nation for life. Iṣẹ́ wa fúnlẹ̀ wa, forílẹ̀ ìbí wa, kàgbéga, kàgbéga, kàgbéga fàlérí. Ìgbàgbọ́ wa ni pé bàtí bẹ̀rù làbọ̀ mọ́, ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká jọlá, ìṣọ̀kan àtòmìnira, ní kẹjẹ́ ká máa lépa ìtẹ̀síwájú, fọ́pọ̀ ire àtòhun tó dára. Ọmọ Oòduà dìde, bọ́ sípò ẹ̀tọ́ rẹ, ìwọ ní ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀. Yoruba Nation, no going back. Shout out to you, Mr. Idris, Just Raising, Viking, and as many of you that are just now because Wanibi share edit, send all your comment out. And those of you that will watch it later, remember to also share, support the platform, and we'll be back again some other time. Koikimedia, bringing the work closer to your doorstep. Bye for now.